Well, you can surf web through your Xbox, right?
Yes.
I think it supports Roll20.
That would be interesting.
No idea.
I'll find out. I got my Xbox booted up right here.
Yeah, of course you do. Okay.
I'm surrounded by monitors, man.
Yeah, no, you really are.
Where are you, Wrath of the Machine?
Pretty much. I've got my laptop as one monitor, the 3 monitors on my desktop, and if I swivel a little bit to the right, there's my TV with the Xbox.
Oh wow, we haven't even found the 5th monitor. That's impressive. It's in Pittsburgh. It's in Pittsburgh, apparently. You're welcome, Internet.
All right.
You're welcome.
5th monitor confirmed.
Welcome.
The man who works in TV has a bunch of TVs.
Guys, if I'm too quiet, let me know. I think I'm okay tonight. I haven't heard any super complaints about my microphone, apart from the occasional I drop in and out of Skype call regardless, but that's different besides the point. So, let's just dive into this evening. So, last week, in our Dungeons & Dragons sessions, the adventuring group known as Ordos Custodes, still not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, ended up close enough. Ended up beating killing, and destroying a fear demon, which was attempting to attack the Council of the Masked Lords of Plona, this governing body that oversees a lot of the trade routes and the overall just kind of governing body of the city of Plona, of the seaside city of Plona, that the group has been sent to in order to look for and find an individual known as Salgent from a Weircat known as Secret Keeper Felix. Upon investigating, they found that Salgent was this half-elven individual named Salgent was imprisoned and was brought before the Masked Lords. When he was brought before the Masked Lords to determine his fate, he seemed to evolve and explode into this gross, disgusting-looking demonic entity. The group dispatching it and killing it with a swift swing of divine sword play from our very own elven paladin Tyrion.
Booyah.
Ended up gaining favor with the Masked Lords themselves, and through this work of bravery, they were able to obtain a letter of note from the basically telling the Stormblades, the main military force, or one of the 2 main military forces within the city, that they were to be trusted and to be helped in any which way they can. Upon returning back to the hotel, they were given a map of all of the different areas within the city of Plona that these mysterious murders have been happening in. They requested some more information about the murders. They took some rests. They took some time to heal up and relax at the Sunset Ribbon, this very beautiful and lavish hotel, basically, that is set within the city itself. Upon finishing up their rest and deciding what to do in the future, they decided to start trying to bait one of these other individuals known as the Butchers of Plona, who are currently to be believed who are the cause of all of these different murders that are happening. They decided to try and use their very own elven paladin Tyrion and his date Shao as bait to try and lure out one of the demons, or one of these Butchers of Plona into the open. As they were on their date, this large hulking figure started walking down the street, and as it did, the rest of the group, who was stealthing along, managed to gain sight of it and see what was this large black shadow that just seemed to be walking down the street that was close to where Tyrion was having his evening meal. A large, gigantic bear was walking past the group right as Karma takes his dagger, flings it at the bear. The dagger goes slamming into the side of the bear. The bear letting out a vicious, very loud howl of pain as the dagger seared and did some piercing and fire damage to it. And it is here that we pick up this evening. As the rest of
Did
you
we roll initiative last week?
Yes, you rolled
Okay,
initiative
I
last
thought
week.
so. That's what this little note is at the end of my thing.
Rolled initiative last week. So, as you hear Tyrion and Chow, as you are both sitting enjoying a nice elven bottle of wine and some cheese and some other food, you hear this giant come from actually farther up the street than where you guys are sitting out at this outside cafe. The rest of you have already moved into area and into range. Salix, if you can't see health of characters, let me know and I'll see if I can make that work. I had all of you roll for initiative. Karma, you feel the belt, you feel the dagger return to your belt. You can, in your low light, you can see the wound on its side, and it beginning to gush blood onto this very large bear entity's form. It lets out a howl in pain. This brings us to the top of the initiative roll. Somebody asked a question and I didn't see what it was. Not as prepared as could have been today.
Well, you know, these D&D sessions, they're like surprises. You never know when they're gonna come up.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's not like it's every Tuesday or whatnot.
I know, right?
Yeah, seriously. Okay. There we are. Jesus. All right. Right, today. Cool. And it has plus 2, so that's a 21. Okay. Top of the initiative round is Karma. As the dagger returns straight to your belt and you feel the weight, the bear looks around, takes notice of a mural and Salix and Clarissa currently who are on the street. In front of it, it looks kind of back in the direction that the attack came from, and it begins to kind of start pounding down the streets. 20, it's going to get about 20, 30, it's going to get about there.
What a roll on its initiative. Holy
rolled
shit.
a 19. Rolled a 19, had a plus 2.
Wow. First of all,
So
this
I
is
got
why I
21
bring
as
my
well, though.
weapons with me on dates. Also, not the worst first date I've had.
Yep. Alright, so it's going to make it right about there. This brings us to Karma. You're up.
Alright. I'm going to make my way. Let's see, how long? I'm just going to go... Actually, I'll use my bonus action to... Here's a question. Could it see me where I was?
It seemed to... you did not hide after your attack, so it could see you, yes.
Alright, I'm just going to go out middle of the street, like, to right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hold my action until I have an ally that's next to it.
Alright. So Karma dashes out. So Emiral, Salix, and everyone else, you see this blur of a shadow as he darts out into the middle of the street. Has two daggers in his hand. He flips both of them up in the air, catches them, and just kind of looks around expectantly, waiting for you guys to go. This brings us to Emiral. You are up.
I'm gonna put my hand up and walk towards the bear, towards
Alright.
the front of it. And I'm going to cast Animal Friendship.
Okay. Pull up that spell, because I don't know what that does. I'm assuming it makes you be friendly with animals.
One would hope.
But I could be wrong.
Shockingly.
Beast intelligence is 4 or higher. The spell fails. Otherwise, the beast must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or be charmed by me by the spell's duration. Or if one of your companions harms the target, the spell ends.
Okay. All right. You cast this. All right. So you cast the spell using your hands, and you just place the one hand directly on the bear's side. It glances over you, lets out a growl, but then there's a slight glow around it as before the glow dissipates. And it just looks at you and just kind of head goes down a little bit and just.
I put my hand up against Karma's will and just stop, and I just scratch it behind its ear.
All right, you do. It kind of nuzzles you a little bit as you're scratching behind the ear. All right, at this point, Karma, Salix, Emir, Clarissa, and Riven. Riven, you noticed this at first. You actually hear the sound of a lot of other different feet and what almost kind of sounds like hooves and different like pattering coming down the street. Goo, 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 goo. Different sounds like different footfall sounds coming down the street. You glance up the street and you actually see probably about probably a good 30 to 40 more just creatures coming down.
That's not good.
Just coming down the street. You look up and it looks like bears, looks like some really odd creatures with tentacles, looks like some very odd creatures that a few creatures. You see some flapping creatures in the skies coming straight down at you. They're probably about 100 feet away at this point.
They're all wild, like, forest.
Yeah, they all. I mean, some of them you don't recognize, but a few of them you're able to pick out. You see like some dire wolf style creatures. You see some like just wolf creatures as well, kind of just running down this way, running down this quickly. At this point, they're probably pushing about 75 feet away from you guys, so they're making their way here.
I'm gonna pull the bear off to the side,
So
to the side of the alley here.
all right, and slowly.
Shout out.
Slowly
Hey,
start
rules, are
moving
you can do about this?
slowly start moving the creature. Start having the bear follow. He looks kind of reluctantly around, and decides to slowly start moving in your direction.
I'm gonna
At this
dip
point,
into the alleyway.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals, since that is
Okay.
it's not gonna affect the other spell.
So
I'm gonna talk.
So Karma, as you duck into the alleyway, all these different animals and creatures kind of just seem to run past you with this almost like stampede style. They just go boom, 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 right past you and seem to run straight along the road itself. Seem to run kind of just kind of like following the road itself. They seem to be Emiral. As you look down, the bear kind of seems to be kind of like longing to go after them, but like still they're looking at you. Like it's just a huge wave of creatures going past all of you at this point.
Yeah,
Clarissa's gonna cast Levitate as a twine spell on herself and Salix, because I see Salix is closer to the animals than I am.
Yeah.
And yell, Salix, just grab onto the building you're next to and hold on. I'll keep us above that stampede.
Okay.
Okay. So as you hear these little voices kind of just come out of nowhere, or the little voice of Clarissa tell you this, you kind of be like, all right, and you just all of a sudden feel this odd sense of weightlessness as you lift up, and oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. You slowly pull yourself up the building and they kind of cling into the side of it. At this point, your feet no longer on the ground. It's about a good solid 5-6 feet up. Clarissa, you do as well.
How close is this? Is the stampede like right here?
Oh, the stampede's like on you guys. I don't have the opportunity to like actually put all the creatures on the board, but they're like it's pretty much running down the street at this point, and it's just going.
I was gonna do something before. I was gonna pull the bear off to the side.
While
and
you're
then
talking, you can't
back.
speak with animals, so.
And I'm going to yell "stop" to the animals.
All right. Make a animal handling check with disadvantage.
Oh God. Natural 20 on the first die. Fuck me. And the second die is a 19.
Okay.
All right.
So with the modifier, that will be animal handling. That'd be 23.
All right. So as you yell as you are off to the side, and you yell "stop," the bear kind of looks at you slightly confused behind you, but all the rest of the animals, like you see a few of them kind of stop in their tracks, but the majority of them still are just continue running, and the few that do stop, actually, like animals and creatures behind them end up barreling directly on top of them and end up slamming into them, a few of them. At which point you see about two or three animals of varying you want maybe you see a wolf and you see what looks like a small badger, as well as a very graceful gazelle, all just stop, look over at you, and then all of a sudden, whoom! The rest of the basically stampede just kind of rushes past them and kind of bears down on them. And you actually see the gazelle get pushed underneath the crowd, and it just is quickly enveloped by more animals that are just rushing past.
It's not gonna work. I'm gonna talk to the bear and see what the hell's going on.
All right. Ryven is currently just standing on top of the rooftop. Tyrion, you doing anything, or are you just sitting at the cafe? They kind of seem to curve past the cafe. They don't really touch the cafe. They just kind of curve past it, following the
So
natural curve
I'm
of the road.
not in their way.
You're not in their way. You're like the way that the outdoor cafe is. There's a slight fence around the area that you guys are sitting at, and the animals kind of just seem to go with the stampede seems to just kind of go with the natural curve of the street.
Quick look around. Are there any other customers left, or at this point has everyone just kind of fled?
It's mostly you and Shao at this moment. You see a few other.
I told her to run away, so
She
she's
obviously
still there?
didn't. She's still kind of
Okay.
standing there, just kind of staring at the stampede and watching it. There's a few other customers who are just hanging out as well. They're just kind of watching at this point. And just you can see some smiles on their faces.
They smiles on their faces.
They don't seem at all confused. They don't seem at all frightened or anything. They just kind of seem to be. This is happening. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Xiao. Do you know what's going on here?
Yeah, actually. Orin's great animal collection is coming in for the Summercrest Festival. He must be bringing them in a lot earlier than expected. But he always brings them in normally at nighttime, and has them just run through the streets. And just everyone normally just comes and stands and watches it, as we never get to see half of these creatures most of the time. They're so glorious.
Good work, you like them good.
They are quite majestic. As a stranger to this land, I'm not going to lie, I found this stampede to be quite alarming.
Well, if you've ever attended one of our Summer Crest festivals, this is pretty common occurrence. They try to do there's even a competition to see who can actually outlast the animals in the running. No one ever wins, of course, but
Interesting. And when is this festival?
it's a few days. About a week. It's about a week from now.
Okay.
If that,
right.
it might even be shorter than that. It might be maybe 5 days from now. It's soon. It's really soon. I take you've seen some of the decorations getting put up around. Or we just started today though, so.
Again, like I said, I'm new to this town, so I
She lets out a
I
slight little.
didn't notice anything. I'm going to nonchalantly. What did you say? I missed that.
She just kind of giggles to herself and says, "Ah, much to teach you."
And I'm nothing if not an eager student. I'm
so-
gonna nonchalantly grab my earring and put it back in
All right, you
and
slowly take
tell
your earring.
whoever has the earrings
back
that the stampede is nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
This is apparently totally normal. So just stay out of the way and
As
let's see
you-
what happens.
All right, as you're saying that, Shao kind of looks over at you, slightly confused as why you're just talking, and then just you slowly bring your finger down from your ear, and she just kind of gives you a slight smile and just continues watching it. She starts pointing out different animals and different creatures that she's never seen. Very, very interesting. Just kind of like just some very odd creatures. There's one that kind of looks like just a blob, and it's got like different tentacles, and just kind of fairly quickly waddling its way down the road. It's like as it passes you, there's a slight little. Xiao actually reaches out and actually touches it. One of the tentacles wraps around her arm, gives a slight little shake, and then just goes off of her arm. She pulls it back. There's like this slimy juice all over her arm. It's real. It's kind of it's oddly entertaining. She wipes it on one of the napkins that are provided. So Amiral, you are talking to this bear. This bear looks up at you, just lets out a slow mournful, which you interpret as like, why?
Are you okay?
He looks back at it looks back at its side and it's like, no, it hurts. It's
Oh,
painful. I want to run.
You will run. Just give me a moment. I'm gonna
Wanna-
cast Cure Wounds.
You see
at
his
third
paw.
level.
You see his paws start to like kind of prance a little bit at this point. He's like trying to really trying to restrain himself from going. It's like
I'm gonna cast Cure
run.
Wounds at third level. This is
Okay.
gonna heal you a bit.
All right. So you cure him up. There's you cure him up. There's a slight shimmer of energy, and you see the skin knit back together, and the fur knit back together where Karma hit him. The blood stain's still on the coat, but and he was like, can I go? I wanna go. I'll play.
Yep. And then I say, go. I'll see you later.
Okay. Bye. Kind of starts like joins back into the Thrawn and jaunts away. About 2 minutes of this about 2 solid minutes of this passed, and before it starts to taper down, and
7, 15,
all right.
23,
Before it starts to taper
26
down.
points of healing.
Nice. Before it starts to taper down, and ultimate, and like eventually it's just like one or two smaller, like there's like a gaggle of ducks that kind of seem to be following behind, and eventually it slows down. There appears to be no other things, like just a very small trickle, and a few other creatures and beasts following, and then coming along, riding on what appears to be a giant iron, appears to be like a giant iron bowl of some form. Comes slowly trotting down the street, very majestic, head held high, kaboom, 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 as it slowly walks down the street. You look up, and on the back of this large metal bowl, you see a small halfling man. From what you can see, hair blonde, and done up in a very, very ridiculous, silly fashion. wearing his very extravagant clothes, and he shouts out as he's walking by, "Happy Summer Crest Festival, everyone! Welcome, welcome, one and all. So glad we're able to start this evening off, or this year off, with a bang. Make sure to stop on by to see Ornis's collection. Enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this wonderful, amazing display of our current collection, our ever-growing collection. If you're an adventurer out there and you're looking to help us grow this collection, stop on by, come speak to me. I have plenty of job opportunities for all of you. Come on by, please stop on by. We will be located in Providence Square, and I'll see many of you at the masquerade. I can't wait this year. Happy Summer Crest to everyone. And it kind of just continues trotting down as he continues saying relatively some of the same messages that all of you are, or like that he just recently kept saying.
So, as he passes Clarissa's gonna get an instant girl boner and completely forget about Salix and lower herself to the ground while leaving Salix levitating and like start whistling at him.
I'll just cling onto the building.
So as Clarissa slowly level like comes down, Salix, you're still desperately clutching onto clutching onto a window ledge at this point, like still like being holding aloft by the arcane energy, and Clarissa just starts whistling and hoop hollering as it happens. As you do, the halfling man looks down, gives a giant wink to you, and just with one hand on its hip and just bows, gives a great huge wink to you, Clarissa, and the giant bull just continues trotting along, boom, 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 down the street. Eventually, it goes completely out of range, and you are all left standing there, except for Salix, who's currently up in the air.
Has it quieted down?
It is super quieted down. The street eventually returns to its
around.
very own similar, like very quiet thing before anything, except now there's just a ton of hoof prints and large footprints throughout the entire entire street, as Salix is still floating above everybody.
Oh, that hair! It's so big and fancy. What?
It's full of secrets.
Oh, you're still
Clarissa,
up
make
there.
a concentration check.
Oh, God. Kitty Thunderdome is happening.
Oh, let's see. So that would be a 9?
You're too enthralled by the individual who just winked at you. You can't. It's you completely forget about Salix. You completely forget about Salix. You feel the slight ebb of your energy as you realize, oh, there's a spell I forgot to end. You quickly end the spell. Salix, you there's like a slight second as you realize as you realize that gravity has begun to take effect, and there's just a slight look as you fall a good solid 10 feet. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you boom right into the ground, and you like are laying there prone on your back.
Clarissa.
Manage to breathe, but not the most pleasant thing in the world.
Why? Can't even hear you.
Can't even hear her. Oh, that's so good.
That's fantastic.
So,
Can I get a spelling on that Ornisis?
I said Ornis? Is that what I said?
I heard Orin. Salix heard Ornis.
I think it's Orin. O-R-I-N.
O-R-I-N. And it's Summer Crest
Summer Crest
Festival?
Yes.
Like the toothpaste?
Yes.
Word.
At least I didn't say Wintercrest.
Or the things that random teammates don't pick up during Iron Banner?
Yes,
those.
exactly.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had the correct spelling. So we're good. Summer Crest Festival, and there's
Summer
a masquerade
Crest
in
Festival.
Providence Square.
And no, it's not in Providence. Well, you remember on your
He's
on
going to
your-
be at Providence Square, he said.
He's going to be at Providence Square. You remember
Gotcha.
reading about the masquerade when you were going to go visit the Black Staff last week, or earlier in the day. You remember earlier in the day. You
Right.
remember reading a giant
Was that
banner
on
that
a
said
poster
something about
outside
masquerade.
the Obsidian
Yeah,
Tower?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it said, "Come dressed as your favorite creature." That's what it said. So that happened. What do you want to do?
Favorite creature? Okay. I'm gonna ask Chow. Orin, was that his name? Was that the man on the back of that bull?
Yeah, Orin. He holds an estate just outside of Plona, large expanse of land, and just is able. He normally hires individuals to go collect creatures for him. Normally, what happens? They come back. Sometimes they come back. Sometimes they don't. He's always looking for new people to come and help him.
And what does he do aside from apparently collect and display exotic creatures?
I mean, he allows for people to come onto his estate and view them whenever he wants, or whenever they want. There's normal normal hours that people can go see.
And this
them.
is his business.
Yeah. Do not all cities have somebody like this?
Not all of them not any that I've been to. Question mark. DM history check. Possibly.
None that you've been to. None. you've
Okay,
been to.
none that I have been to. That is certainly interesting. That being said, and I just look directly, and look her in the eyes because, that being said, it's not the first surprising thing I've encountered in this city.
She blushes hard and all of a sudden, just kind of looks just stares directly into your eyes. You see her face go super red. She quickly averts her gaze and just and starts messing with her dress a little bit.
Well, shall we continue our meal?
Yes, by all means. And she goes to sit down, and she sits down. She ends up sitting down and starts to begin to eat her meal. She seems to start eating it quickly, almost a little too quickly, to the extent where where all of a sudden, a good solid 30 seconds after you have sat down, you realize that her face is turning purple, and that she has apparently attempted to shove the entire side of meat that was set on her plate just into her mouth all at once, and she drops her knife and her fork, clink, clink, and actually reaches up to her throat. Look of panic in her face.
Joking.
Oh, yes, thank you. I clearly can't tell that sitting across the table from her. Alright, I'm gonna quickly move around and whatever the Heimlich is in this world called.
Yeah, you move around.
The
around.
Fillion. Maybe he invented that too. I'm gonna Fillion maneuver her. He's a very jack of all trades type guy. So I'm gonna Fillion maneuver her.
Ah, damn. Just make a dexterity check for just
Dexterity? Okay.
Yeah, just make a dexterity check.
I'm down with that. I'm good at that. Is there?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll take that. So dexterity is. Oh, that's quite good. That's quite good. So that's just a straight +3 to my roll. So 16.
Yeah. Within less than 3 seconds, just this some of the meat there's just swallow and a slight explosion of what appears to be partially chewed meat, a good glob of it just onto the table, and she's and she stands there coughing for a second.
Are you all right?
Just embarrassed beyond words, but thank you for saving my life.
You're very welcome.
Been-
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Quite a lot of Quite a lot of excitement for tonight.
I should say so.
Well,
Can I get you anything? Perhaps,
just
at the very least, a new table. I'm just gonna gesture over to, I guess, whoever's working there and ask them to bust the mess away.
just a glass of water would be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
They
Is
managed
there
to
a
bring
pitcher
her.
of
They
water
managed to
on the
bring
table?
her.
Okay,
They
yeah.
managed to. Yeah, there's a pitcher of water on the table. You pour her.
Pour
one,
a glass
you-
of water and hand it to her.
You do. She takes a few good swigs, and says, "Thank you." And you're eventually shown.
Very welcome.
You're eventually shown to another table. You continue. Your day continues as well. Make a what the fuck would this be? Just make a general charisma check, I guess.
Ooh, I'm very good at that. Okay, that was a 10, so 13. I rolled as soon as you said make a.
Yeah, make a charisma check. You've had some bad dates in the past. Maybe none as bad as this one. But over the course of the next hour and a half, you feel like you managed to salvage it decently. Even regardless to her general amounts of clumsiness that you find slightly endearing. It's you talk, you laugh. She spills half a glass of wine over kind of over her over the side of the table, and she horridly apologizes consistently over it. Eventually, you find yourself walking back in the direction of the book of Providence Square after paying the bill and after and finishing and enjoying the replacement meal that they actually sent for her. You eventually make it back to Providence Square and just out to the front of the building. That is her bookstore. And she kind of just looks at me and says, "Well, thank you for quite a wonderful evening. I was honestly don't think I've ever had a date quite that bad, actually."
Well, I certainly did not think it was bad at all. I rather enjoyed myself. Perhaps we should do this again another time. Are you planning on going to this masquerade?
I was planning on going to it. Yes.
Well, perhaps you would allow me the honor of escorting you.
That sounds like a wonderful time, actually. And she says, "Well, it's in 3 days, so I guess it's 3 days or 2 days."
That's an excellent question that I feel none of us have the answer for.
I actually have the answer. I'm trying to pull it up real quick. It's in 2 days, actually. Okay, so well, it's within 2 days. So I guess I will wait for you, and if you just want to pick me up here, and we'll
Very
head on
well.
our way.
And I may, in the meantime, come stop and see some more of your bookstore. I certainly have a great interest in books, and perhaps get to know you better then as well.
Please do. I look forward to our next chat. And she is like trying to scrabble with the door, and she her hand misses the door handle about 3 times and says, "Bother!" And she finally turns around and grabs it and opens it, walks inside, and as she's closing it says, "Have a good night, Tyrion." It's like closing of the
Lady Shao, I bid thee good night.
The door closes with a slight click. As you turn around, you see your entire party standing there, currently just kind of standing in the middle of Providence Square, not trying to be hidden whatsoever, just staring, watching the entire goings on. Clarissa is kind of laying on the ground, hands on her head on her hands, feet waving back and forth as she's kind of just watching the entire proceedings.
Glaring at her.
Incapacitated by
I'm
Lady
glaring
Bunker.
at-
Got it.
Salix is like fingering his mace as though he's getting ready to slam it into Clarissa about 3 times, but restraining himself somehow. Rest of you just
glaring at Karma. I'm glaring so freaking hard at Karma right now.
Yeah. So.
I'm just gonna walk over and be like, what happened to you guys?
It did not go well.
Salix, are you okay? Is that a dent in your armor?
I will be fine tomorrow.
Okay.
Whoa, his clothes were almost as nice as mine. Oh,
Who?
Hi,
Salix's? Hi.
who's Salix? Oh, yeah.
I'm
I mean-
Salix.
Helmet.
If you could pay attention for more than 5 seconds at a time.
What is wrong with you? Wow, you don't look so good. Did you fall off of a tall building?
It's possible that I fell off a tall building, Clarissa.
Wait,
Well-
Salix, you fell off of a top. What were you guys doing?
You
not
wouldn't
fun.
understand.
Well, Karma decided to attack a dire bear, which I ended up pulling aside and healing, and I glance at Karma.
Is that what that big thing was in the middle of the street before
Yes.
the stampede?
Yes.
Okay.
To be fair, how often does one find a dire bear stampeding through the streets of a populous city?
In Plona, apparently once a year, from what I've learned.
That happens every year?
This happens every year. I'm sure you heard the well-coiffed halfling man speaking of the Summercrest Festival. Apparently every year.
That guy?
That's such a smart way to start a festival.
We're gonna go see
being-
him, right? Right? Right?
Yes, Clarissa, I was actually going to suggest that myself.
Of course we are.
Yeah.
Salix, do we not want to go see this man?
No.
I mean,
No, we do. He's just, my favorite person ever of all time. Of course, we should go, Clarissa.
What? Go where?
You glance around and you realize that you still have no idea where Ryven's at.
Salix, did she get hit in the head or something?
She got hit in the head by love.
Hit in the... Oh, ouch. Are we sure this is love, Clarissa? You seem more prone
Infatuated?
to the...
She
Lust
There's a
Googled over
difference?
the halfling, so...
Alright.
I didn't
Well,
realize there
I mean,
a
he
difference.
was aesthetically pleasing, if that's what you're into, so
You can say
understandable.
that.
He is also, not that you would care, seems to be extremely rich. He keeps all of those animals on this large estate somewhere outside of town, and from what I can tell, operates at like some kind of reserve. And this is his business. He brings them in every year for this festival. Certainly, the people that live here are not alarmed by this.
Well,
This
I
is a
know
fairly
there's at least one room
location.
they wink.
Of course there is.
Subtle as always, my gnomish friend, but
As you're having this conversation, you're all making your way back to, the summer ribbons, the sunset,
Uh-huh.
sunset ribbons. Sorry, making your way back to the
We
sunset
still have
ribbons.
a-
Yes,
we
you still
did
have
there-
you have the for the night. You are at a checkout till noon.
Well, the next day.
Noon the next day. Yeah.
High noon the next day.
If I may bring our attentions back to the matter at hand.
You all
Our-
actually make your way into the summer or the sunset ribbons. You make your way back up to your room, which you have. As you open the door, there's another card on the ground, very ornate, that just says, "Your checkout time is at." That just reads simply, "Your checkout time is at noon the next day." Or noon tomorrow, is technically what it says. You walk in, you find the entire thing. Lights and magical torch sconces rise, and the light comes into focus. As you walk in the door, you look and glance over towards the kitchen area, and you find it all completely restocked and refreshed. Ryven, what are you doing?
If we all called it a night, I guess I would have called it a night with them. We're
Okay,
not
so you're all-
hunting for bad guys
so you're-
anymore.
Okay, so you're all making your way back into. So as the rest of you enter through the front door, you hear a slight rasping at the window. You hear a slight rasping at the window. Ksh, ksh, ksh.
I'll walk over and investigate.
Walk over as you look at as you lift the window and actually look look out it, nothing there. You poke your head out, you look to the left, nothing there. Look to the right. You see standing on the still, Ryven, just standing there, back leaning against the wall. His perched precariously on like a small ledge, but his arms are just crossed as though he's standing just against a wall at this point, on ground floor. You're just like, what?
What? Too good for front doors.
Somebody had to watch your back.
Get in here.
He darts in the window, closes the window. As you enter, you do find sitting on the table next to the map is a good solid, like, probably 2 feet of nothing but just ledgers.
Yes.
That just look like nothing but ledgers.
Is this,
Ledgers, yes.
Oh yeah,
a
So
gift
good.
of Vincent Roche?
This
you don't
is
know.
what I was looking for. These are, I presume, the ledgers for each one of these murders, so I want to piece this together and see what is what.
All right. So as you,
I like how Clarissa gets a girl boner, but Amiral gets a paperwork boner.
Papers, Please is definitely her favorite game.
Oof.
Don't they throw Stelzka?
Must be a lot of
I'll
paper
go and
cuts in those,
assist
in those
Amiral
games.
with correlation of numbers and whatnot.
So
So anything she needs help with while looking over the ledgers, I'll help.
I'm gonna go
I have
find-
zero interest in paperwork. I'm going to pour a goblet of wine for myself and anyone else interested.
yeah, it's probably
Over
approaching.
here?
It's probably approaching about 11 o'clock in the evening at this point in time.
So, our plan is, well, not just
Wind.
And
Don't D&D and drive. Come on, man. It's very dangerous. Certainly not with the windows down.
Okay.
we did not find what we were looking for. It's like, it's time to come up with another plan. Maybe it's over there, and I wave towards the group going over the papers.
So,
No, it certainly looks like there'll be a while. That's quite a stack of papers.
all right. So
I'm gonna need a big
Amiral,
goblet.
so it's Amiral and Karma who are looking over the papers. Is that right?
Correct.
as far as it's right now,
So
yes.
it's Amiral and Karma looking over the papers. I need both of you to make investigation checks. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's take a look here. 21.
Fuck did you roll?
18 plus 3.
If you
20, 19,
16.
18. He's
Fucking
just
kill
gonna work
you.
himself down from the top.
Oh my god.
Ryven,
Do
what
not
did you
incur the
Ryven,
wrath of the DM.
Ryven, what are you rolling?
I'm rolling things? No,
Wait,
I'm
did-
making a comment about him. He's just working himself down from the top.
Right.
Started with a 20, then a 19, now an 18.
18, right, yeah. All right.
I rolled
Karma, what'd you
16
roll?
total, 10 plus 6.
Okay. Over the course of the next hour, hour to probably 2, honestly, you begin over the map that you're looking at. You begin marking each of you taking like one ledger and marking exactly which like finding each corresponding murder scene, and you begin marking whether it was done by chains, whether it was done by looked like just like straight bore, like almost like what looked like bore holes, just holes bored straight through the body, or whether the murder looked like it was done by whip. And you find that as you're after about 2 hours of doing this, you finally hit the last ledger, and by that point you don't even really need to look at it, but you don't even really need to look at it, but there's one specific circle towards the southern portion of the city that is not filled in, that you guys don't know, and you're assuming that this is the last ledger that you're looking at. But you do realize that a very distinct there are very, very specific clusterings within the city. Off towards where kind of the warehouse district is, that Senrin? Sensen is close.
Sensen.
Yeah, that Sensen told you about, and told you that was where one of the murders happened last night. Was over in that direction and moving towards Providence Square, and even partially down towards the south of the city. Are all of the attacks that seem to be chain related. All of the ones towards the other side of the city that are on the opposite side, closer towards kind of where the Lyceum is, and kind of more in the more higher end portion of the city, is where all of the giant, just like the giant holes are, like kind of like that's looked like there's something went straight through the body, are towards the southern edge, which is where, or towards the southern portion of the city, where the one circle that you haven't filled in yet is all of the murders that look like they were done through whipping, and they're like just how there's so much just through the whipping process and the loss of blood.
So the south has whips, and then the other two sides of the city, the northeast and the northwest, have one up each. So it does look like there's a pattern to all this. Is there anybody else awake besides myself and Karma at this time?
It's just, I don't know.
Salix and I. Salix and I are probably just.
You guys are drinking at this
for like
point.
half an hour.
Drinking wine and chatting.
Yeah, after they'd been at it for like 30 minutes, I'd go help.
Okay. As you look over the last ledger, it is what you'd expect. It is a whip. It is a whip death. Nothing too different about it, or nothing too bad, nothing too different about it. From what you can tell, it all kind of looks the same as everything else is. So.
Did the number of murders add up to a multiple of 3?
It would have, yes. It would have, yes.
Okay.
So, with after looking at the final ledger, Miro lets out a giant sigh, places it down in the stack that is whip murders, and just kind of looks over the entire map, exasperated, slightly scared, not really 100% sure what to make of it.
It's patterned. Whips are to the south, all of one are to the northwest, and all the others to the northeast. There is some notion to this. It's Miss Calissa around here. Maybe she can make heads or tails.
She's asleep.
She's asleep. Oh, Chloris. She is. Do I recognize any of the circles at all? Or it just looks like 3 summoning circles or something like that?
What do you mean?
Like the shapes of where each murders, like each section of murders.
Like they're all like apart from just like being able to mark like where each one is, it all just looks like it's the same. It's the same pattern of where they were at. It didn't change where they were at. You just like could see that like it was like very distinctly 1/3 of them were, 1/3 of them were from the chains. 1/3 of them were through the bore holes. The other third was from whipping, but it doesn't really seem to make any pattern that you personally know of.
I can't make heads or tails. It's divided, but this is not my expertise. The symbols.
Is there anything here that can help us? This just tells us a lot of what we already know.
This is basically tells us of what murderers were located on what sides of the city. This is what I was asking for earlier. So we know that these are all censored to this side of the city, and that pointed out like this is to this, this is to this, this is to this.
You also point out the earliest murder, which happened close to Providence Square, and was one of the chain ones, from what you can tell.
What about
Yeah.
where are the ones, Emerald?
was that?
Where are the ones, Emerald? Where are the ones from about, let's say, a month and a half ago, when we were in Loudwater and we found that letter?
Would I have picked up any dates throughout all this, or is it just?
I don't know. Did you?
I hoped I did.
I'll say that yeah. You, as well as putting them in order of which type of murder they were, you also decided to put them in order by date. So you find the time that she's looking that Salix is asking for. You pull it out of the stack, or like you kind of like flip to it. You look at it and you're like you point out from point A to point B within the stack. That's where the times that you were in Loudwater and for the past basically month you were able to discover.
Are there any
Yes.
descriptions for the victims?
Basically the same as what we know, as far as I know.
I mean, as you look over the description, Salix, and as you ask Mural, all of the timing from Loudwater, and even a little before then, even progressing forward till I think it was about 2 months ago, about a month ago, I think actually. It describes them as a majority of children, not all of them, but a majority of the timing for most of them, or from that time slot, were children, younger
Are they able?
individuals.
Do any of the reports are they able to identify the children, or are they all John Jane Does?
They're all unidentified. Yeah.
Okay. If I had to guess, that these victims, pointing to the ones from the appropriate time frame, and on the map, I don't think they were from here, from Plona.
No, since you said children, they're probably the ones that we were trying to save in the beginning. The ones that the snakes were sending here.
It could be anywhere from
Dirty bastards.
northeastern Zebra. And we don't even actually know how far this goes. It could be anywhere.
Just want
The most recent victims have been adults, though, like the one that we found yesterday.
When you look at it, the oldest victims, like the ones that from the very first one, till till about that time frame when you find a very distinct transition to children, and not found children or not known children, to kind of there's a very distinct that very distinct ending point, to present. The bookshelved and the bookshelved portions are what appear to be adults or early or young adults or older or elderly people, and they all seem to be people who lived within Plona and who were actually residents of Plona, from what you can tell.
Okay. So it appears at this time frame they started bringing in people as sacrifice. That is so morbid. Children. But then why did they stop? It's because we cut off their supply. We
most likely.
We put Dara on the run, and therefore they couldn't bring any more in.
Oh, how long ago was that been? 3 weeks? 2 weeks?
Since we left, we made Loudwater, or we forced her to flee Loudwater about 5 weeks ago.
No, it was longer than that. It was probably about
6?
almost 2 months at this point.
And they would have been running out of supply.
It took you about a month to travel from Loudwater to Arrows, and it took you about another 3 weeks when you were doing the Arrows stuff.
I will have to take note of that because that is not what I got. Okay.
I think that's what it was. It's roughly about that. I think I could be wrong, but
Oh, okay. I'll talk with you afterwards so we can figure
Yeah,
it out.
I was about to say we'll hash that out, but
It was X amount of time ago.
basically the way it works, it all lines up. Basically.
Okay. Yeah.
So they ran out of kids to sacrifice to this, so they
As soon as we
decided to
cut off
take.
their supply,
They took innocent people off the street.
if they could have just taken people off the street in the first place, why did they need the children? Was it a specific age that? Oh,
Souls would appear.
did they require a certain age, and by bringing in individuals from outside the city, then they wouldn't be missed, and therefore it wouldn't have been investigated as much?
Possibly.
Also, if this is some type of feeding a demon-type creature, maybe they get more from the souls of a child than they do of an adult.
Well, remember when we did our pyre back in Ashari there?
Sorry.
Yes. That we seen even just a few of the children that passed in that fight. Even then we seen quite a bit.
Of.
Quite a
Of
bit
the
of.
souls. The souls.
There we- I was like, what are you talking about? Okay. Okay. So. What?
Well,
What do you-
should we just get to bed for now, guys, and pick it up in the morning, figure out what we're going to do then? It's getting kind of late.
From the
just
other
been
room, you hear
snoring the whole
from the
time.
other room you hear Clarissa's just avid snoring just happening over and over every few seconds.
You guys go to bed. I need to do some things here.
I'm going to go find a nice place and curl up.
Okay.
About what time is it at this point, Shadow?
It's probably pushing about 1 o'clock at this point. It's probably 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning at this point.
Alright, well, I'm going to refresh my goblet and stand over near the window, just keeping an eye out on the streets below.
Okay. All right.
Once he comes over, I'm gonna head to bed then, because that's
All right.
what I presume I was kind of scouting out about.
So you head to bed. Okay.
Sort of like, I mean, half keeping an eye out and just with my free hand, sort of absent-mindedly, like, rubbing my necklace, just sort of a bit lost in thought.
Okay.
Something bothering you, Tyrion?
No, nothing at all. Just keeping an eye on the streets below.
Celix and Amiral, what are you guys doing? Celix and Amiral, what are you doing?
Sorry, I had to step away for
Nope,
just like
you're
the
fair.
last 2 minutes.
Nothing
Did I
happened.
miss anything in the last 120 seconds?
Nope, people are
People are dozing off. They're heading off to
basically,
bed.
yeah, we're heading off to bed. More or
Okay.
less.
I think we should sleep on this and come back in the morning.
Salix, before you do anything, open that note.
You want me to read it while you're sitting here?
Yeah.
Okay. Pull the note out and break the seal.
Okay.
It says in Elven or
Fine.
Fine. God.
I speak Elvish, and I can tell you right now, that was not Elvish. Certainly no form of Elvish I've ever
Let me
heard.
do my job. It's the reason I'm
Fine.
here. As you open the note, it says in Elvish that name. Let me do my job. Don't take this away from me.
And a dragon flies through the window and gobbles Emerald up.
Emerald is hunting the gods tonight.
Amiro, get the fuck out. No, I'm kidding. Love you.
I will. Okay, so I'm gonna read the name.
Yep.
I said, I'll fold it back up. He says, I say,
Out of peanuts.
we've done a lot of people have done a lot of sharing about their past today. want me to keep this to myself?
Well, this is between you, Salix, and Tyrion are probably the only two that really know what this creature is capable of.
Oh, I don't know much about him, but I'm gonna hold the note up. This is a very dangerous being here. You're saying that he threatened you in the past? Personally?
100 years ago. 110, 120, roughly. I can't remember the date.
And
But-
you were alive?
There was a warlock, a dwarven warlock, walking through the forest. He just seemed talking to himself. He seemed wrought in thought, arguing with himself. It didn't seem normal. And I was in the forest looking after a shrine that I tended to, and he just collapsed. And when I went to go over to him, his body burned up. It was just gone.
This warlock.
This warlock. And I don't know what his name was, but out came from seemingly nowhere him. Held me in his grasp, laughing, feeding his voice into my thoughts, saying that I need to bring an army to face him at some point. As fast as he was challenging. He wanted a challenge.
Why you? Didn't you just say you just happened to be walking through the forest?
I was tending to a shrine nearby.
Shrine of who?
I made a shrine to a friend of mine. He passed away when we were really young.
A memorial.
Yes.
Okay. And Orcus, Demon Lord of the Undead.
Okay, my ears kind of perk up at that name.
Yep, it perks up.
And I'm definitely walking over, not saying anything, but I'm making myself interested in this conversation. Continue.
Orcus, Demon Lord of the Undead, picked you up and challenged you to war?
And you're alive.
And then what happened?
He said,
What happened?
he just said it wasn't my time yet.
Then count yourself lucky. That is among one of the most vile names in any tongue.
Do you suppose your time is coming soon?
I don't know. It could be in the next several hundred years. I don't know. Like, druids can live up to centuries.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Salix, all of our kind, have quite long lives.
Yes, thank you for
By
my
any measurement.
mortality.
Of your...
Yeah.
Well, certainly we are not immortal. We have the same mortality you do. We just experience the flow of time in the world differently. And
We see generations upon generations of humans. The same elven person could be ruling for 400 or 500 years.
And quite frankly, if anything, I relate more with your kind than my own. I remember nothing of the first, however many years of my life. Perhaps 100, perhaps slightly more or less by estimates that have been given to me, but I understand.
How do you know this is who you think it was? Did he say his name?
No, but
Did you
I've done the
recognize him from the
research.
statue? As
Yes.
and that was him exactly.
Well, goat-like head and legs, horn of a ram, arms are human, bat wings on his back, long tail tipped with a poisonous head.
He
Sounds
sounds
right.
pleasant.
Yeah, he's not something to wrangle with.
No.
Oh, certainly can such
I
a
do
creature
have the
even
tools.
be destroyed?
I'm uniquely equipped to deal with his minions, but not with him.
I would.
Anyway, so what happened after he said that? Did he put you down and disappear?
He literally, as fast as it happened, he was gone.
Why would he? Oh. That's all you know.
Basically, just said, gather friends and challenge me in my domain.
Huh.
Sounds like a death wish for a lie.
Friends you've gathered. Orcus, he likes to. Can I make a history check on? Not a history check, but can I make a check
A
on
religion check?
knowledge
This is gonna be
Orcus?
On what?
Religion check.
On what? On what about Orcus?
Just I think he's a big player, so I know a little bit more about him than just names and domains.
Yeah, this will be
Is
a
he?
religion. This will be a religion check.
Well, and we did do all that reading on Orcus.
Yeah, you
Not
did a
too
lot of
long
reading.
ago.
You've done a lot of reading on demons and
You should
individuals
know
as
that
over the
that
past
is a
couple days. So,
natural 20 religion check.
fuck yeah, dude.
You are now Pope.
All that studying paid off.
You get an awesome hat, and you are in charge of all the religion ever.
Strong guy.
So Salix now gets a level in Pope.
Hashtag Pope level.
Level?
Okay.
Level
Hashtag
7
There's
Hashtag
probably,
cleric.
there's honestly probably a homebrew for that. In all honesty,
Hashtag
level
war
7
Pope.
cleric, level 1 Pope.
hold on a second. Just so you're aware, guys, Emerald is female, but she is played by a male. Best way to explain it. So she's a female elven druid. So, and like Emerald, like you can see the picture. Like she's up there. Her name is underneath the picture. So, okay, Orcus. Demon Prince of the Undeath, also known as the Blood Lord. He primarily takes a lot of pleasure in the suffering of the living, of those individuals who are currently living, and primarily prefers company of undead. His main desires that you are aware of, Salix, having done a lot of studying on demons in the past couple, like the past 24 hours, even the past like years that you were known, like you when you were with the brothers, you had to know those individuals and those entities who were part of the positive realm and those who were of the negative realm.
I'm sure he had a bookshelf in the.
Oh, you highly studied the negative realm of individuals just because you knew you might one day come upon worshippers, cultists, individuals who were part of that. So you highly studied this. It's very, very, very like it's really easily within your grasp. His desires is to see all life quenched and the material plane. Like from readings, you get the sense that he is trying to ultimately extinguish the material plane. And turn it into kind of his own domain. Like, take this place that the gods had specifically set aside for the mortal races and turn it into one of those planes that is only for him and devoted solely to him. He is one of the entities that rules over the death, over the kind of realm of death. Not necessarily so much the passing, but the afterlife, the time when entities and individuals, like when their souls have journeyed beyond this material plane and beyond any plane that is currently known to the different races. He's very bestial. He is meant to he is meant to embody the fears of individuals who look upon him.
It's the wings and tails and horns.
Yeah, wings, tails, horns. He oftentimes, he oftentimes will reward entities who worship him or who are are very, very devout to him with similar looking features. Like he will often reward them with horns or wings or tails or hooves or hooves. It's a good chunk about him. He's very humanoid. It's not like he's not like in appearance wise. He's not like fat or he's not like super fat, not super muscular, but kind of somewhere in between. But he is one of the gods who oversees the realm of death, and or one of the gods or entities that oversees that realm of death. And there's a few within this world and within the pantheon. There's quite a few gods that rule over the different realms of death. There's entities like the Raven Queen who rule over the actual passing of mortal souls onto the next life. Orcus has forever been been trying to claim her portion of the domain so that he could see the passing of those souls.
Orcus resides in the Abyss, I assume?
He resides in the within the Nine Hells, so it's part of the Abyssal Plane, yes. Part of the Abyssal Plane.
Nine Hells are part of the Abyssal Plane?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
And do the Demon Lords of the Nine Hells, do they have sort of like a hierarchical structure, or they kind of compete with each other like Daedra?
Nobody has been able to venture that far and live. So
okay.
You're not sure.
So no one's really sure. Okay.
But you know that Orcus is a pretty high player in that whole thing. Okay.
I will communicate all of that.
You do. You pretty much give like a full slight history lesson over Orcus and over everything you know of Orcus. And the fact that you find them talking to a mortal, even though most of the time elves are regarded as immortal, whether they are they are regarded as immortal unless they are taken by blade, poison, or sickness as incurable. The fact that he would speak to an individual directly in his form on this material plane is a very, very bizarre circumstance.
Yeah, he despises mortals.
It's very bizarre that he would even directly challenge somebody like that.
Yeah, and I'm pointing that out to
Yeah.
Tyrion and Mithril.
Yes.
I cannot think of a single instance that I know of where a demon lord manifests themselves on our plane, the material plane, like that. That is truly unique. And
Yes.
I think it's time we acknowledge the fact that I don't think it was just coincidence that the six of us happened to be having a drink at the Tankard and Loudwire.
Well, I didn't meet you guys until I hit the ship at Loudwater.
Sure. That's true.
Still, we were all in the same town. A very obscure town. But this, I mean, clearly what we're dealing with here could be machinations from this vile creature's minions,
Orcus revels in the pain and suffering of others, especially mortals. And waving my hand over the map, this is exactly that.
well,
It could be him.
from what I can tell, Salix, he has much to revel in all over this world.
That's true.
Were we to stop these, either way our goal remains the same. We are certainly not equipped, nor do I believe is any equipped to challenge such a being. However, if stopping these attacks and bringing these so-called Bushers to their justified end puts a crimp in any of his plans, though, so much the better.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you know this, but the Druids, looking at planes of existence between air, earth, fire, and water, we know that the entrances to those planes becomes the thinnest during the solstice of each, well, the crest of each year, the winter crest and the summer crest. Those barriers become the thinnest.
Well, very well. Again, I do not see how this changes our immediate priority.
I don't think it does.
Good to know, though. Thank you, Amiral.
Like, I'm sorry for not bringing this up sooner.
I don't believe it was much relevant
Yeah.
sooner. You have nothing to apologize for.
What was the name? Tyrion, you were in the room.
Yes. When?
Can you recall? I don't remember the name that you said yesterday. That demon said that Lord someone had demanded that they be sacrificed. That the masked lords be sacrificed.
Oh, Lord. No.
Did it start with a K?
I think so. Hold on. Brief. Oh, okay. That's Lord. Notes.
I want to say Corfus, but I'm not sure if that's right.
I have Corfus but
Yeah,
we've.
you're correct.
I don't.
You
think
are correct. You are correct. Corfus.
Okay.
Corfus. Okay. So is that an S or an X at the end there?
S.
Okay, Corfus.
What
Okay.
if this Lord
So I was
Corfus
close.
Isn't. At first, I thought he might be a person, but what if he's a lesser demon lord who is organizing these machinations throughout the city?
It's entirely possible. I feel.
Is Corfus the name that I recognize whatsoever?
Make a history check, or make a history check.
That's not good. 5.
Nope. It's a name.
It's a name. Yeah, starts with K.
Not sure what it is, but it's a name. Not sure who
What
it
time
is.
is it right now?
You
It's-
think it
I don't
involves?
know.
It's
you think
approaching.
it has
It's
syllables.
It's approaching. It's approaching 1 to 2. It's about probably 1:32 at this point.
Yeah.
I think
Like
that we should
it's getting late.
we should all sleep on what we've learned tonight and come back in the morning with fresh eyes and figure out what we're going to do. We're running out of time. We don't know what's going to happen, but I think we're all certain that something is imminent.
Yes, and it is not something pleasant.
In
Like,
the
say, a
morning.
stampede of adorable animals. We already saw one of
have it.
those.
I have a theory, and I'd like to run it by Clarissa. So we'll talk in the morning.
Very well.
All right.
Thank you for
So-
sharing. I know that was hard for you.
Okay. So.
I kind of just look distant off into the window and nod.
All right. So. Salix, you make your way to bed. Mural.
Elf trance time.
I need to pray and
Okay.
write.
All right, you pray and write. It takes probably another like half hour at that point, so probably approaching 2 o'clock at this point before you finally fall asleep. And Mural,
Crash.
Salix, I'll just say you kind of hang out here in the living. You kind of hang out in the living room, kind of the more living area space. You just kind of sit in one of the comfy couches. You finish your prayers. You begin to write. You start scribbling down and everything, and eventually the lines blur together, and your head kind of lulls into a sleep. Tyrion sits on one of the other chairs, goes into an elf trance. The Mural, you what are you doing? Just going to bed?
I would actually more be like cross-legged on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Okay, so
sit
you're
when I do
cross-legged.
that.
You're cross-legged on the floor, kind of in front of one of the, sitting directly in front of one of the little trees that kind of is like plotted. There's kind of the little plants that's kind of plotted in the room itself, just gaining the natural energy from it.
I'm just gonna do my prayers as well and just read over a few of my
Okay.
spells into probably 3 or 4 in the morning, and then
Okay.
proceed to go to sleep.
All right, so
I
go through
did not pray tonight, and I haven't the last
You
2
haven't.
nights.
really most of the time. All right, so Karma is asleep. Everyone's asleep. Everyone kind of goes into their trance. Eventually, Muriel nods off. I need as you're sleeping, and as you are meditating, Riven, you feel across your face the cold wind. You smell the smell of salt, the smell of sea. You can hear the waves rushing and crashing against the stone beneath you. You hear a voice come behind you, as almost slightly muted through almost through almost kind of what it sounds like through a door, and it says, "You are unworthy. You are a disappointment." You can feel the knife go through your go and dive into your stomach again. You feel the sensation of falling. Karma. As you sleep and dream, your dreams are filled with an endless supply of the endless scene of a burning village, bodies strewn throughout here and there, blood soaking and flowing into the streets. Some bodies marked with arrows, others marked with swords driven into their back. Some laying sprawled out on the ground, faces up in utter horror. Just the entire world burning around you, and you hear a maniacal laughter sound throughout the town that you are standing in. As you gaze about, you hear it. You cringe as you glance forward and see two horns jutting out from two very elongated horns jutting out from the back and from the back of an individual's head. A black cloak billowing in the wind. The smoke obscures the figure for a second. And just for a brief moment you catch a glimpse of them and you see a smile. Eyes that are forever burned into your memory before the smoke obscures it again. Salix.
Did I recognize the village?
You're asleep, damn it.
Well, I mean, I can.
You're asleep, damn it. Shut up.
If I saw it, I can.
You are asleep. Make a perception check with disadvantage.
All of the disadvantage.
The disadvantage of eyes closed and unconsciousness? I like it.
13 plus 3, so 16.
You're too focused on the goddamn eyes and the fucking laughter.
DC is probably 30 on that.
I love it when Shadow wants to say no, but he makes us roll before he says no anyway. Like, he wants to give it, like, make us think we have a chance, just like, no.
You're screwing up
What'd
the
you get?
mood.
3
Shut up.
natural 20s. Still no.
It's fair. Sorry. You're messing up my flavor, man. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I said no, damn it.
This is what happens when you have a drunk DM or a drinking DM. It's fun. Salix, your brain and your dreams drift off back to entering under an archway. You see the bodies of brothers, individuals that you know, strewn throughout, blood strewn across this place that you thought was sacred. The carving of the 3 of the talons Your vision shifts slightly, and you are standing in front of a giant archway. Purple curtains swinging back and forth, even though there's no breeze in the air. A slight voice comes out to you, and you hear, "We will return someday. Find us." The mural. In your dreams, you hear laughter. You hear the clomp of hooves. As you lay there, weeping over your friends, you see the faces of them, those that you have lost, those that you have gained. You see them flash before your eyes, with the ever constant Your eyes move up and you see standing before you the entity that you recently spoke of. And a voice comes across and says, "You are not ready. Come to me when you are, and when your force is greatest." Tyrion. Even though in meditation you succumb to your waking dreams to an extent, still aware of your surroundings, you feel cold. You hear the wind howl, as though in a gale somewhere far away. Your vision and your feeling shifts to feeling and seeing the terror and the horror that is the pillar of smoke and the pillar of destruction that is before the place that you and your tutor were supposed to attack and move on together. The fear, the unknowing of not knowing what happened to him as you rush through the rubble, trying to find him, unable to find anything, unable to find even a hint of him. Terror envelops you. Sadness envelops you. Clarissa. Your visions and dreams, while peaceful for the most part, eventually shift, and you're brought back to that night in the observatory as you're reading through a book and the lightning storm crackles overhead. You finish reading a book and you look up just in time to see one final crash of lightning as it comes striking down upon you. Electrifying, feeling every cell of your body. Everything feels like it's going to explode. Power like this you have never felt. Power you are now accustomed to. Your hands spread wide as it just arcs and sprays throughout the entire room. The door slightly opens, and you see a face. A face of a family member, of a loved one. As the energy sparks from you, you glance over at the face of the individual standing at the doorway, just as bolts of energy fly from your fingertips and incinerate them, turning them to ash. I need for every single one of you to make a wisdom saving throw, with disadvantage.
Is it magical?
Anyone within 10 feet of me gets +3.
I believe it is, as I said, wisdom saving throws with disadvantage, please, because you're asleep.
Yeah, but Nathan, is this
Um,
considered magical?
I will consider it magical. Yes, I will consider it magical.
All right, my first one was a
Yay.
natural 20. My
Jesus.
second one,
Stop wasting natural 20s on disadvantage rolls.
Seriously.
14 on my second one.
All right.
And I don't get
19.
any bonuses or anything. It's just straight roll for me.
13 with a +7 to wisdom, so 20. And I don't know if I'm within 10 feet of Kieran, so I don't know if that counts.
Actually, I don't. I'm just looking something up real quick. Nope, doesn't matter. I had to be conscious to grant this bonus, so nobody gets it, including myself.
Okay.
That's
So
what I
it's
thought. Yeah, so no.
So Clarissa with a 19.
Disadvantage.
Salix
Bitch.
with a 9. Muriel with a 20. The hell did you roll? Jesus Christ.
14 for Tyrion.
You don't want to know what my first roll was either,
I-
Phil.
Don't want to know what your fucking first roll is. Jesus.
Druids, man.
And-
Wisdom.
And-
Oh no, I'm
And,
sorry.
uh,
I'm
Ryder
sorry,
got
Nathan.
16?
It's a 13.
That's fine. And Tyrion and Ryven's the only one I'm not 100% sure on at the moment. Trying to pull up and make sure everything's all set. Okay. And let's see, who got what now? Ryven got 16. All right. Okay. Karma, Emerald, Salix, and Tyrion, and Ryven. As your dreams and as your waking dreams fill your minds, your visions shift again, and you begin to feel as though you're walking through. You begin to feel as though you're walking through fog. You look around you. Everything is white or some shade of gray. You think you can see blurred outlines in the distance. Some, as you begin to walk towards them, you hear a voice that says, "One day, I will return. You will see me again, and your nightmares will feast upon your fears." I need 4. Tyrion, make a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay, now it's my turn to waste a natural 20 on a disadvantage roll.
Oh,
My cat did not enjoy that. He smacked my dice. Okay. Alright, you said, gee, fuck.
Perception.
Okay, hold on. My book, and this has been a bad situation. Perception.
With disadvantage.
With disadvantage, yeah, it's fine. It's 10 total.
Okay. As you feel as though you're walking through a fog, you swear off to your right. You hear almost what sounds like a slight creak of a door, but you're too focused on this spot in front of you, and you continue walking towards it. Emerald and Clarissa. Emerald, as you're having these dreams, and as you are, Emerald and Clarissa, as you are sleeping, you both wake slightly with a cold sweat. You reach up to Emerald. You reach up to your face, wipe sweat away, and find that you are visibly shaking at this point. Clarissa, you, in your bed, curl up even tighter. And Muriel, make a perception check.
Perception, that is a 19.
Alright. Let me roll. A 19, you said?
Yeah.
As you wake up, you notice a flicker out of the corner of your eye. As all of a sudden, boom! You manage to just barely catch a slight movement come out of the corner of your eye as before a big slamming, what almost feels like a tree branch comes slamming into your face and ends up pushing you forward into the table that's in front of you. You end up taking a grand total of 8 bludgeoning damage as you go flying forward, toppling into the table in front of you. You glance off to the side, and you see what looks like this very large, kind of almost slim to an extent entity. In the dim light and in the dark, you see what appear to be 4 to 6 tentacles, or long limbs that kind of protrude from its back, where 2 hands reach forward and stare at you and says, and you hear a voice in the back of your mind say, "You should not be awake. You will feast, and I will feast upon your fears." The voice comes in through the back of your head as you realize this entity has no head. There is no where its head should be. There is just a gaping maw that seems to descend down into its body. You hear this as you see like different flaps kind of like crouch together. I would like for everyone to roll for initiative. Those of you, Karma, Amiral, Salix, Tyrion, and Riven, please roll for initiative with disadvantage because you were sleeping.
And I rolled normal, I presume.
Yes.
17
Okay.
And Clarissa, you
Okay.
can roll for normal as well. Because you
Okay.
are currently...
I still get my initiative bonus on the lower
You
roll,
still get the
right?
initiative bonus on the lower
Okay,
one.
then
yeah.
20.
Alright, so 20 for Tyrion. Alright, so 20 for Tyrion and Amiral.
It's like I don't feel so bad about disadvantage when your second roll is like
Clarissa,
it's
what did
like
you
when
get?
it's only like 1 or 2 lower.
Clarissa, what'd you get?
18.
Clarissa. It's followed by Riven, Salix, and Karma.
Yeah, I will. I will be. 10, yeah.
Cheers. Okay. 18 total. Okay. As well. All right. So let's bring up this battle map for you guys.
Quickly, if I may interject, are we at the part of the night where we are before or after the results of a long rest?
You are in the middle of a long rest, so you still don't have the restoration. You still have not regained
Gotcha.
hit points. You still have not regained. Anything along those lines yet.
Right,
So we
but if you
get-
rolled hit dice when you were taking
If
we
you
were
roll
taking
hit
our
dice,
short
you
rest
have
before.
that. You have that
Okay.
for sure. But
Because
you do not
I'm
you
pretty
don't have-
sure I'm
You do not
Yes.
have the extent of a full rest yet.
Spear spells.
You're missing a thunder wave at this point.
Oh, I thought I could only use one. I didn't realize
You
I
can
could
use both, but you're missing the thunder wave.
Okay, I'm still trying to figure out how those
Right.
reset for myself. So until I have
All
that
right.
memorized.
So
Oh god, that thing looks ugly. Oh
All right.
shit.
So Tyrion, you are still asleep. Tyrion, I need you to make at the beginning of at the top of the round, Amiral, you are currently awake and you are now very aware of this thing's presence. Tyrion, I need for you to make a Constitution. Fuck, what is this thing called? This would be a perception check. Still.
Okay, but I'm asleep.
You're still asleep, so with disadvantage, yeah.
Okay. Okay, 11. And, 6.
All right. So, you're still in your brain. You are still enthralled by the thick fog that you were walking through, and by the dot off in the distance. You still continue to walk towards it in your meditative and dream state at this point. This brings us to a mural. What are you doing?
Is my weapon nearby? Like,
I'm assuming since it's probably pretty close by at this point. You didn't really you were kind of just crashing on the couch. You wouldn't really have you didn't have a bedroom or anything. You just kind of crashed on the couch at this point. So you wake up, you're forward at this point. You look around, you reach for your weapon, you grasp Celeste, you yank it from its sheath.
I don't care where the sheath goes. Is my shield nearby?
Shield's behind the couch. You could probably grab it. If you do, that'll probably be your total action at that point for fully arming yourself at this point.
Screw it. Salix, Tyrion, and I'm just going to pop Flame Blade and kind of hold I'm going to go dodge at this point.
Celeste completely gets completely enveloped in flames as the room actually lights up with the flames that are crackling around Celeste. You shout out for Salix and Tyrion. This brings us to Clarissa. You are currently asleep. You hear a mural shout quickly for Salix and Tyrion in the other room at this point, and you're still currently curled up in your bed after waking from some very disturbing nightmares.
So after being somewhat freaked out by the creepy nightmare and hearing, I assume Emerald sounds somewhat distressed.
Somewhat, yeah.
Clarissa will grab her wand and tap herself with it and say, I think it might be safe to try out a new trick, and cast Mage Armor on herself. It just happens. And,
nice.
And then she'll make her way over to... there's a closed door here, right?
Yep.
She'll make her way over to the door and just kind of crack it open and look out.
You slightly crack the door open, and looking out, you can see this large, and you see a shadowy entity with different parts of it seem to be kind of flailing and kind of moving about, just slightly twitching, some kind of just undulating here and there, that's about all you can see as you kind of crack the door open enough. It's shadowy, you can't really see too much. You see a slight flicker of flame coming from beyond the door, but not much else you can see really at that point.
Okay, and that spell is my action, so that's that.
What does Mage Armor do?
Increases my base AC to 13, and it lasts for 8 hours.
Nice.
And for Clarissa, I'm going to assume it's pink and bright and glowy.
Nice. All right, fantastic. Okay, so as you tap your wand to yourself, there's a slight pink hue to you look down at your arms, so you see a slight pink aura kind of glow before it solidifies into very bright pink, almost armor that seems to move with you as you move your arms. You, seemingly satisfied, walk up to the door, creak it open, look out. You see the entity. You see some shadowy entity out there, and you're not quite sure what to do. This brings us to its turn. It is going to move here. It is going to make... Alright, it's going to attack you, Mural, once.
I'm doing the dodge action,
Twice.
if that's anything.
Okay, so disadvantage is a 16 to hit.
That misses even without a shield.
All right, so you managed to as you sorry, I'm trying to Armor is off. Okay, so for
Like the shield is off.
Okay,
So-
so as you glance up, your elven eyes and your elven reflexes manage to just see a slight twinge as one of the long, almost what you can describe as tentacles or arms seems to kind of come and slam, kind of come straight towards you. It whoosh, you manage to duck just out of the way, just as it passes over your head. You feel it slightly graze your hair as it kind of comes back to where it was at. It's going to make a secondary attack against you at this point. That's going to be a 18 to hit.
That's with disadvantage on them.
That is with the disadvantage.
It hits.
All right. So you take a total of... Where are you? Oh, okay, wait with that. You take a total of 15 points of bludgeoning damage as after the first tentacle just grazes your head, a second one comes and uppercuts you and slams you straight underneath the jaw. You go reeling back, managing to maintain your focus, but god damn did that hurt. It looks around the room. It's going to take its third tentacle and and is going to attempt to grapple Salix. The third tentacle reaches around, slides around Salix's body, but seems to kind of just slip off of it. It rolled a 4 and a 1.
I'm surprised you lied. I'm asleep.
That was with the advantage too.
What?
Fucking shit.
Wow.
So that's the third attack. So that's the third attack. It's gonna make one more attack and try and grapple Salix again. That's more like it. It hits. It's like over 23 right now. So its fourth tentacle reaches forward and wraps around Salix's body, slowly encroaching its way up to Salix's neck. Salix, you are considered restrained, and by restrained I mean you are considered grappled at this point.
I'm grappled?
You are considered grappled at this point in time.
I'm grappled and asleep. Got it.
You are grappled and asleep at the moment. This brings it. All right, so it's Clarissa Dream's time. As it. All right. This brings us to Ryven, who is currently asleep in the bed.
I was gonna say, am I awake?
You are currently asleep.
Do I have any reason to get up?
Currently being racked by horrible nightmares.
Is there any way I can wake myself up, or am I just gonna sleep through this whole fight?
I mean, Amiral did shout out for people.
Amiral
It
did
wasn't
shout
for
out,
him.
so make a perception check with disadvantage because you're still asleep at this point in time.
Can I use that new thing that I have that ends an effect on me? Can I end sleeping?
Probably not.
Is it called
Probably
coffee?
not.
Well, this is fine. I can use an effect. I can use my action to end an effect on myself, causing me to be charmed or frightened.
It's not charmed or
correct.
frightened. This is not charmed or frightened.
It's not charming.
No, sleep is not charming or frightening. Dreams, on the other hand. No.
I was gonna say
no.
I would disagree. I find my sleep right now to be very frightening.
You cannot end sleep just by using that. No.
Does anyone have a page number for grapple?
Oh dear. All
It's
right.
back on the
290.
It's me the 290 something. Yeah.
God, my perception's crazy high because I rolled a 3 and a 5, so it's a 10.
You're still encased and enthralled by this large black form in front of you, and you can't. You're just continuing to
Giggity?
walk it. You tend. You hear sounds, but nothing that seems to rouse you from your sleep. You still continue walking towards the black entity. If you're grappled, a grappled creature's speed becomes 0. You cannot benefit from any bonus to its speed. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated. See condition. The condition also ends if an effect to remove the grappled creature from the reach of the grappler or the grapple effect, such when a creature is hurled by Thunderwave spell or something like that. So basically, if the creature gets pushed out of the range that it would have on you, fantastic. Let's just hit the scale. Okay, so you're still walking through and wading through this mist at this point. That's okay, you're
Pretty sure
much
it's my
asleep.
turn
You're
because
still
I'm still
asleep,
sleeping.
Brings this to Salix. Salix, you are. It's your turn.
Do I need to make a check if I wake up?
You need to make a perception check, but make a straight roll because you're currently grappled, and that would negate the disadvantage.
Okay.
Because something slimy is wrapping around your waist, making its way towards your neck.
Why has everything turned into a horrific anti-nightmare for us?
Perception of
Say.
16.
And also since Muriel yelled out for you, your eyes slowly begin to open as you kind of hear a no, or not that you hear Salix, and you just hear Muriel shouting and screaming your name. Wake up! Eventually, your eyes open, your snap open, you look down at your chest, and there's something very slimy wrapping around your chest, and it's at this point beginning to wrap around your neck. You reach and claw at it for a second. It's your action. What do you do?
Has it pinned my arms to my sides?
No, you still have free movement of your arms, but you are...
Okay, I want to reach down to the left-hand side of the chair and pull up my mace.
Go for it.
And the right-hand side of the chair... Actually, no, I don't want to do that. Just the left-hand side.
Okay.
Also, I'm unarmored right now, so...
Yep. Okay.
I've never tried this before. What are the... Is there a certain mechanic for firing a ranged spell attack at point blank? Well, is the guy point blank with me, or is he standing over there with a long tentacle reaching that far away?
It's standing over there with a long tentacle at this point.
Okay, so that's not firing at me.
Nope.
He is not within melee, no.
Okay, so I'm going to fire a...
Can I fire a higher one? I'm absolutely confused about what's going on.
What are you trying to do? What do you want to do?
I'm going to fire a guiding bolt at level 2.
Right. Is that ranged spell attack? Is that correct?
It is.
All right. Since you are currently, as your eyes shift and adjust, you still look around and you see yourself in a thick, milky white fog that reduces your kind of image or your vision to what is it, 15 feet? Is that what I said? It reduces your vision to 10 feet, and everything beyond 10 feet of you in this room is just a thick blanket of fog.
So is the measurement tool on this map correct, or is each
It is
square-
it is correct. It is correct.
Okay,
you can
so
still see it. You can still see it. So you have, it's a normal attack roll. So go ahead and make your guide. So as you reach around, you find the mace. You find the mace off to your right side. You grasp the holy symbol that's at the base of your mace. You take your finger. You point it in the direction of the entity that's currently standing there. Poof, go ahead and make your attack.
That is so close. That's 19 plus.
Nice.
That's a 22.
Yeah, that hits. Go for it.
It's a lot of dice. Oh, max damage 30 plus.
Nice.
Oh, that's it. That's just D6. So 30 points of radiant damage.
Nice.
Also, the next attack against it has advantage.
Nice.
And that's amount of actions.
All right. So as you reach down, grab your mask, point your finger off towards where you think the entity is. You feel the divine energy coalesce at the end of your finger, and with a straight streak of energy, the beam of energy goes slamming into this entity's chest. It gets like its left shoulder gets pushed back slightly a bit. It lets out a sound at you. It still maintains its grapple and restraint on you at this point, but you did some solid damage to it. This brings us to Karma. You are currently asleep on the Shimajig.
Okay, so I take it perception with disadvantage in order to wake up.
Yes, it'll be a perception with disadvantage to wake up.
All right, I rolled. I put it in chat already. It was a 14 and then a nat 20. So 14 plus 3 is a total of 17.
Nice. So, as you're currently lounging on your basically chair, you you hear Emil shouting for Salix to wake up. You hear this as the guiding bolt, as some form of energy hits in the other room. You snap awake. As you look around, you're confused, as you can only see about 10 feet in front of you, and the entire rest of the area is just covered in this white fog. That's all you can see.
Okay, so I cannot see around me at all then.
You can see 10 feet in front of you. That's about all you can see.
10 feet, so I can see up to the door then.
Yeah, you can see up to the door, but like there's like just like this kind of fog that's just kind of wavering just on the outside of your vision at this point.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the door, and I'm gonna yell back towards Riven, "Wake up! There's something here!" And I'm gonna open the door, and I think that's about all I can do in my action. Correct? Just
Yeah.
open the door.
So as you shout to Riven, you race to the door. You take your foot, you kick it open. The door goes slamming open. As you glance out, you can see Riven, or not Riven. You can see Salix. Currently, something is currently wrapping around Salix's body. You see Salix beginning to get lifted up into the air, with his arms outstretched towards the back, slightly pointing at the entity. That's about all you can see at this point.
Do I have a bonus action left, or is that everything?
That your bonus action would probably be yelling out to Riven at that point,
Okay,
and your
that's
action
fine.
would probably be waking up as well. So
Just want to double
probably
check.
all you got. All right, top of the round brings us to Tyrion. You are up and still meditating and asleep. So this will be there's been a lot of sound going off, so I'm going to say roll with just a straight roll of perception to see if you wake up.
Straight roll of perception. Fuck. I got so excited I threw my dice off the table. That's gonna be 19 total.
So, as you're wading through this thick thing of fog, you hear Emural's voice in the distance yelling a name. You can't quite make out what it is. You start to run faster and faster towards the sound, and it just always seems to be out of your grasp. Eventually, you hear, as you're running, you hear this slightly muted explosion sound. Slightly muted explosion sound. At that point, your eyes flare open, a divine, with slight green energy coalescing around them before disappearing. You glance around, you see Salix beginning to be pulled and held aloft by what looks like a giant, slimy, gooey something or other. And just at the edge of the distance, you just amidst like this almost kind of gray haze and gray fog that's currently enveloping the room at this point from your vision, you see a black speck that seems to be where the this large kind of slimy tentacle seems to be originating from. What do you do?
Okay, so I see a black speck with the large slimy tentacle coming out, and that tentacle is currently wrapped around Salix, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Right, well, I guess I'm just gonna grab my sword then,
All right.
and try and cut the tentacle,
Go for it.
but not cut Salix.
Go for it.
Alrighty, so I guess that would put me, so what, is like right around there, or you can move
Probably
me
about
to where
there,
a
yeah.
reasonable
Probably about
location
there,
would
yeah.
be.
Yeah, probably. about
Alright,
there.
so attack roll for that, I guess, or?
Yeah, repeat attack roll.
Okay. Natural 1.
Oh, oh God.
Doing well.
Hey, please, come on.
So waking up, you see waking up. You see Salix. Currently beginning to be held aloft, and held just slightly above, with the tentacles slowly wrapping towards his neck. You reach down, grab your sword. You run forward. You take your sword. You
Rib sailor.
raise it over your head. You bring it in an arcing slam straight down onto the tentacle before you realize, mid swing, I didn't take the sheath off, and it just kind of bounces slightly off the tentacle as it just kind of just kind of like whoop, just kind of around the tentacle, slamming into the ground with such force that you had. Boom, you realize you're standing there. Shit, the sheath is still up. Fucking goddamn, I know better. And you kind of set yourself back into a ready stance at that point.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take my second attack.
Yep.
Unsheathed, hopefully. I guess the dice will tell me, but that is my aim. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Natural 1!
Oh my god.
2 natural ones in a row. Oh my god.
Emerald, do you see what you've done?
Dan is the opposite.
I
Of the
am
mural
like
tonight.
channeling
That's
some Will
fantastic.
Wheaton stuff right there, because the odds of that are
DJ is the Will Wheaton.
That's so
incredibly
good.
low.
person
So as you
right now.
go for your second attack, you bring your sword up to your other hand. You begin to attempt to actually pull your sword out of your sheath, and you go to you start trying to pull the sword out of the sheath, and it just will not budge out of the sheath. You eventually manage to kind of wrench it off, and you eventually manage to wrench the sheath off, but like it kind of like only comes about halfway, and you kind of have to shake the sword about like vigorously just to get it off. The sheath goes flying off into the room and clattering against the ground before you're finally standing there with your bare sword ready to go and attack. Unfortunately, that's all you can do for this turn.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, damn. I believe that brings us to a mural.
Yeah, and I'm not pleased with this thing because it just smacked me upside the face. I'm gonna go right up to it, and I'm gonna attack it with my blade, my
Go for it.
flaming blade.
You have advantage.
Nah,
You do have advantage on this roll, yes.
Thank Christ, because that's a natural 20. Oh!
Oh yeah, go.
I rolled a 7 on the first and a 20 on the second.
Nice.
5, 10, 13, 15. 15 points of fire damage, and then double that, so it's 30 points of...
What's slashing? What's fire? As you're attacking with your sword.
6 points of it slashing and 24 of it fire.
And 24 of it fire? Good God.
Yeah.
What are you using on the sword again?
D6.
Napalm.
No. Like, what spell
Oh.
are you using to make it flame? You should know this.
Flaming blade.
Using whatever's going to.
I was about to say, you use it quite often. God damn, druids, man. Jesus. So, as you rush forward, you take Celeste and just straight across the torso of it, leaving a streak of fire that seems to dance across its torso. The fire dances across it for a second and then dissipates, but it lets out a giant shriek of really agonizing pain at that point. Solid attack, good sir. Solid attack. Anything else?
Thank you for that advantage. And I'm going to cast, if I can, at first level, Healing Word.
For a bonus action?
Yeah,
Yes, you can do that.
which you can go on to the next, and I'll just heal myself up here.
Nice. All right. This brings us to Clarissa and the entity in front of you. So we'll start with Clarissa. What are you doing?
Alright, so seeing this ugly thing that looks vaguely bad,
Yeah.
I think we should probably hurt it while lighting up the room a little bit. So I am going to cast Witch Bolt as a 4th level spell.
Yes.
Nice.
I approve.
Because why not? It's a new.
It's a
I
Witch
just
Bolt,
got
man.
the spell. Yeah.
Because
Right.
Karma's just yelling, "I approve" from the other room for no
So you
apparent
hear-
reason.
Well, anyways, keep going.
I actually have a question for you on this, Nathan. If I
Yeah.
were to use the meta magic for empowered spell, which lets me re-roll damage die, Witch Bolt allows you to use your action every turn after the first to do additional damage. Would empowered spell apply to those as well, or only the initial burst?
That's a very good question.
I don't think it's clear.
No, I think that's gonna be a question for meta magic, honestly. So I'm gonna look up
Yeah, I was just looking at meta magic. Off the bat, I was like, personally, I wouldn't think so, but take a look and see what meta magic says.
It's not clear. I don't think the answer is going to be clear from the book. This is a DM ruling question.
And you're doing the empowered? Is that what you're doing? Yeah.
Yeah, empowered spell.
$102.
I'll say yeah.
Much as I
yeah.
hate to be the rules lawyer.
No, I'll
this one
say
I do think
I
actually
will say
deserves
that
it.
I will say that since you are maintaining the spell, yes. I will say
Cool.
maintaining the spell, you can use it will like since it's basically you're imbuing the power you're imbuing the power with your wand, and your magic itself, you're imbuing the power. And so, since the spell is being maintained through the course of however long you can maintain it, that will be... It would still technically have the meta magic effect on top of it. So I would say yes.
Cool.
So, I agree with that.
And all right, and I'm gonna use my Ben Luck, which reset the last time I had to roll on the Wild Magic table, to make this with advantage because I really want this to hit.
Go for it.
Okay, so one of those is an unnatural 20.
Nice. That'll hit.
Alright, so 4d12 damage. Right, because I think it's +1 for every spell level above the...
Yep.
For each spell, yeah, okay. So that would be 4d12 total. D12. And... hang on,
Jesus.
let me-
Oh.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'm not going to re-roll any of those. I will take that.
Yeah. All right. And if I recall correctly, Witch Bolt just kind of hits.
Yeah, well, I rolled a
You need-
unnatural
Yeah, that's right.
20.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
And then every turn that I don't use another action, I can just
You can just
use
use,
Witch Bolt
yeah.
again to automatically do more damage, yeah.
Okay. So damage is 35.
Yep. And as
Nice.
a minor note here, just because of Clarissa's background, I want the lightning from it to be emerald, like from this original story.
Right. Yeah. I gotcha. Okay. So, as you see the doors and as you see your different friends beginning to like burst and beginning to attack it, you nominally take your foot and kick the door, and kind of realize, that was a bad plan. That was a bad plan. You push the door open with one hand, brandishing your wand in the other hand. You take your wand, reaching up towards the sky. You feverishly chanting the words to the spell that recently just came to your knowledge, and you spin the wand once, twice in your hand. You slam it down on the ground, and from the tip of the wand just comes these 3 bolts that shoot out across the ground, straight towards the entity that's in front of you. They all congeal on it, slamming into it. Fire, lightning, and other forms of energy slamming into it. Its body is racked. So you see Salix's body jiggle a little bit as the tentacle itself kind of moves around a bit. Moves around, still maintaining its grasp on it. And Salix, you kind of get this sensation. Clarissa, as this emerald path of destruction just comes and attacks this entity, there's a slight smoke that kind of rises from it. Shut up. That rises from it. And as all 3 bolts, as you can see, 3 different burn marks, all kind of throughout your vision, kind of still there, still slightly pulsating with energy. God damn it! pulsating with this emerald energy. Been drinking
Energy.
all night. So, well done.
Oh, and she'll use her bonus action to yell, obviously nobody stand in that, referring to the emerald lightning, like, coursing between her and the thing.
Right.
You'd think it'd be obvious, but
Right.
with this group.
Over the din of the magic, it's kind of hard to hear, but you think they get your meaning. All right, this brings us to his turn. All right. So, at the start of its turn, Salix, you feel the tentacle begin to wrap tighter and tighter and tighter around your body as it finally reaches your throat and begins to as it wraps once around your throat, twice around your throat, and begins to constrict, and you begin to feel the life being squeezed out of you.
Am I suffocating now?
You take the AC. It's a 18, 19, 23 to hit.
My AC is 12.
Okay, so as you feel the tentacle wrap around your throat, it begins to squeeze. You feel the rest of your body begin to get crushed and portioned. You take a grand total of 16 points of crushing damage from
It's
the
like crushing the life out of me.
as it's actually crushing the life out of you at this point. It is then going to make an attack against a mural. 22 to hit.
That hits.
All right. Right, Amiral. As it begins crushing Salix with one tentacle, another tentacle slams against you. You take a grand total of 15 points of bludgeoning damage as it just knocks you back. 5 feet. As far as 5 feet is
Probably right into the table.
right into the couch, actually. So you're not you don't take any additional damage, but you do as you go sprawling into the couch, boom, landing on something soft for once. Still hurts, but for once, it's soft. Another tentacle is going to go and slam against Tyrion. That is going to be a 17 to hit.
Nah, bro.
All right, and you meditate in your armor, so you're fine. So,
Yes.
So as
And I don't have my shield out, but it would still not hit. I did actually factor that in this time.
I had a feeling. So Tyrion, as you see one tentacle go slamming into a mural, and you just manage to catch the twitch. It's just another tentacle comes directly at you. You manage to actually take your sword and just manage to deflect the tentacle with your blade. It actually ends up slicing against the. It actually ends up slicing against the sharp point of the blade. It ends up taking. Go ahead and roll 2d4 for me.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okie dokie. 2d4. There's one. I only have. There you are. It's like I only have 2d4. So that is gonna be 4 and 4. Finally.
Nice.
I like how my D4 don't let me down, unlike you stupid D20 that I've now replaced with another D20 that I love more.
So as you, God damn it! So as you deflect the blade and you feel the tentacle actually grating against you as it pulls back towards its owner. You can feel the slight specks of blood just going flying past you, and you just manage to stand there. Ah! Eventually, the tentacle cuts past your blade. You push forward past it, flipping the blade in the air. You once again crouch back into the ready stance. There's one more attack. Pissed off. How far away is that? Out of curiosity. Ooh, that's fun. Clarissa, that's a.
See, you say fun.
22.
I
That's a
kind of think
22
you
to
mean the
hit?
other thing.
Ow.
Alright, Clarissa, you take a grand total of 15 points of bludgeoning damage as you're casting this arcane energy at this entity. You're trying to maintain it, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of your eye, you see almost looks like just a blur of motion as it before feeling an explosion of pain slam against your face, sending you reeling and pouring backward. Damn. All right.
That hurt
last
a lot.
thing- Yeah. Make sure you. What's your max AC? What's your max AC, Clarissa?
Max AC. What do you mean by that?
What? How much? Like, what's your total top?
Oh, it's 13 right now.
Or
and if I
rephrase. What are you at right now?
13.
13
And if
after that attack?
Well, that's with the mage armor.
No, I mean not
So-
your AC. Your HP. What's your HP at the time?
Oh, okay. I was confused.
After the attack, what's your HP?
16.
Okay, thank you.
And I rolled a modified 20 on my save to keep concentration.
Nice. So you still maintain the witch bolt. The energy is still crackling back and forth, back and forth from your wand. But god damn, that hurt. The last thing it's going to do is it's where, like, as you're looking at this entity, you see this large bulbous portion of it in the middle of its what would be a normal entity's tummy. You see two just slight flickers of flashes of purple energy as all of you glance around, and you see these slight portals begin to open throughout the room. Which points, different entities begin to step through those portals. Each of them different in all of your eyes. Some of you see them as a demon lord. Others of you see them as yourselves. Others of those seeing them as lost individuals that they have lost. Walking forward towards them. This brings us to Ryven. You're up, buddy.
I'm still sleeping.
You're still sleeping. Make your perception
Alright.
check. It's a straight roll of perception check.
Karma
Even
is
though he's
going.
like yelled in his
I
face.
got-
Yeah, no, it's a straight roll. It's a straight roll.
That's a natural 20.
Nice. Nice.
Kind of wanted it to be a natural one, just for the
Nice.
fuck of it.
That would have been so good.
So yeah,
And I'm
apparently the dice gods have just decided to go full extremes tonight. No middle ground for us.
No middle ground. So Ryven, as you are just hearing this voice and living out this nightmare that you see in your dreams multiple times every night. You bolt up, pulling out a dagger from underneath your belly. You look around, you see fog. You can't see more than 10 feet in front of you. You hear a voice coming from a dark shadow in front of you, and Karma, as he's shouting, "Ryven!" It's sounding almost from a distance and from a farther distance than normal. Ryven! You wake up, you hear muted explosions and what sounds like attacks coming from farther away than what that actually would be. But you're awake now, you're conscious, you're not sure quite what's happening, but something's going on in the next room. What do you do?
I'm gonna head to the next room, and
Go for it.
where's my spear?
Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna head into the next room.
So you
Like,
reach out,
ever.
you sheath your dagger. You reach off to the side of the bed. You grab your spear in two hands. You race forward. You get past Karma. You look around the room, still in this mist of fog, and you can see Tyrion currently attempting to hack at something, but you're not quite sure what it is. You see Salix slowly being raised above the ground as you see him reaching up, trying to grasp at the tentacles that are there, and you see this entity. You can see this odd-looking entity currently just in the middle of the room, with different what almost look like tentacles or limbs, kind of just jutting out from its back.
What do I still have that I can use? bonus
You
actions,
probably
actions.
have your main action at this point. You've used a little bit of your movement, not a ton of it, but you've used some of your movement. But you
I have
probably
50
have your
feet. I can run around this room twice.
you've used your bonus action at this point. but
Okay,
you,
yeah, that was-
you still
that's
have
what
your
I'm
main
getting
action. You still have your main action.
All right, we're gonna try something new here. And I am gonna burn. What is it called?
The Kai point.
No.
Oh,
I know Kai Point. You know what it is.
I
I'm gonna
don't
burn
actually.
Scorching Ray,
Oh, nice.
Firebending, activate.
basically.
Nice.
And fire all 3 of them at the big evil thing in the middle.
Nice. That's gonna be fun, man.
I don't know what my spell attack things are. Did we ever figure that out?
It's your
I
Kai.
did not, unfortunately. It's What was that, Clarissa? I mean, not Clarissa. Amiral.
Isn't that his like Kai points?
But it says make a ranged spell attack. I don't know what modifiers.
Scorching Ray, is that coming from your monk class or from a different class?
It's
That's
coming
from my
the-
sphere.
Wouldn't that be dexterity?
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
But it's
Because like it's based on your spell casting.
No, I have spell casting.
Well, right, but you're a monk, so if you had it, I assume it would be. Doesn't like everything you get come from dex?
I can choose. To
I
be
could be
dex
wrong.
or strength
Wisdom.
for
It's
things.
wisdom and dex for a monk.
It's wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do I add
So it is.
what, a plus 4 to that for my wisdom?
1 second, I'm checking something. Sorry, it's taking a second.
I thought you said it was 15 the last time you were dealing with that.
That's my
Fire Wave.
DC.
That's
I'm
the
not
DC,
looking for
not the
DC.
modifier.
I'm looking for modifier on hit.
Type modifier. It's your proficiency bonus plus your wisdom modifier.
Okay, so literally the same
Plus.
thing as dexterity. Good to
Yeah.
know. So my wisdom and my dex are the same. Alright, so the first one is an 18 plus
That hits.
7. Okay. Second one
18 plus the hits.
is another natural 20.
Jesus Christ! go for it.
Yes.
Dude, I roll 20s when
No,
I get
that's-
like
no, that's awesome.
disadvantage.
I love it. I love it.
And my third one is a 16 plus 7.
Yeah, it hits.
23.
Yeah, it hits.
That's all 3 of them. 2d6. Do these get any modifiers on them?
2d6, 2d6.
It's
and
whatever.
a 2d6
It's
negative.
for scorching ray. It is whatever it says.
It's 2d6, but I don't know if I add anything to
You
that.
don't- I don't
No, it's just 2d6 fire damage.
for
5,
each one. For each one.
9 is the
Yeah.
first one.
9. Nice.
And 18 for the second one.
Jesus.
That's the nat 20.
Nice.
7 for the third one.
Nicely done. Okay.
And I'm gonna skirt myself with the rest of my movement over to this.
Yes, I did something.
So, Ryvan, as
I'm
you
awake now.
as you glance around and you see this entity, you spin your spear once, twice, imbuing the demonic words that you were taught by the Black Staff. You raise the spear over your head. You slam it pommel first down into the ground. Boom! As there is just from you and emits a large orange glow that seems to emanate from directly you out towards everyone. It passes through Tyrion, passes through Salix, and just continues to pass around all through the room. As it approaches and hits the entity, it actually hits the enemy's torso, and as it does, there's just a whoosh, a huge burning and flame that just enveloped the upper part of the torso up and towards the head. You hear this sound as it screams out in pain before the flames disappear into oblivion. You, not even paying attention to the actual attack, you dart off to the side, trying to move around it at this point, trying to get into more advantageous position. Nice job. Damn.
Did a
It
thing.
brings it. What was that?
I did a thing.
You did a thing. Brings us to Salix.
All right.
Go for it.
Am I still grappled?
You're still grappled. If you want to try and break the grapple, you are more than welcome to. But if you are, it'll be most of your. But that
Is
would
that
be
just
your
a-
action.
That's my action.
It would be it'll be a strength check, and it'll be your action.
Okay, what's my strength? It's 2. Is it just one tentacle?
It is currently just one tentacle. Yes.
Could I try slashing at it with a dagger instead?
You can attempt to. Yeah.
Or would I be better off with just a anti-grapple? Or
It is up to you. Whatever you want to do.
okay. Okay, I'm gonna pull, reach down to my right with my right hand down by my ankle and pull out a dagger that I keep strapped there,
Okay.
and I'm gonna try and cut the tentacle that is currently wrapped around my throat.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack.
That is a 15 plus what's that? That is a 20.
All right. That'll hit.
That is 6 points of piercing damage.
All right. Okay. So as you reach up and you try and grasp around the tentacle, it doesn't seem to be letting go. You take your dagger and you plunge it and start trying to take it away from your neck. Doesn't seem to really have much an effect at that point. So it just you did some damage, but not a ton.
Okay. Do I have a certain number of rounds here? Am I suffocating slowly? Or am I just
Until
taking
you're
damage?
You're taking damage at this point.
It's not like I'm underwater and drowning.
Not really. No. This is more. It's just kind of trying to it's just constricting you, and you're grappled at this point.
Okay, so well, let me look at this spell real quick. It has. If I have a spell with a verbal component, can I use it right now, or is it crushing my voice?
It's gonna be a higher DC. It's gonna add basically a little bit to the AC if you try
Okay,
to use
it's I would like to use healing word. That doesn't have
Okay.
a DC.
Well, I mean, like it's gonna add like wait, healing.
Should I just make a skill check?
Yeah, make a skill check. Make an Arcana. No, make a religion skill check. Because that's more what this is. This is more religious based.
Wouldn't be just straight wisdom,
I believe it would, or we'll do that.
because that's my spell attack or my spell modifier. That's a 22.
Okay, so as you're being constricted, you manage to just after grabbing the dagger, you actually end up taking the dagger and having to do you want to drop it or do you want to just transfer it to another hand? What do you want to do with it?
Well, I've got the dagger's in the right hand and my mace is in the left, so I don't really need. I'll let go of the dagger.
Okay, so you let go of the dagger. You reach and grasp onto the mace's holy symbol. You feel the warm energy. You feel the warm energy of Helm as it courses through you. Doesn't really do anything to really restrict the non-oxygen that's coming through to your throat, but it's. I mean, like you do regain. You feel a sense of vitality. You feel a sense of resolve, ready to go. Your eyes flare open, but you're still like being choked at this point. Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
Does my spell fail?
No, you gain those hit points since you're doing healing word.
No, healing word. I did it. I cast it on Clarissa.
Oh, you're casting it on Clarissa.
Yeah.
I missed
That's why
that.
it's purple.
I missed
Well, I didn't
that.
specify. I just said healing word, and then I asked a skill check.
Yeah, I'll say that it works on Clarissa. Yeah, that's fine.
Clarissa, you were healed
Yeah, I'll say that's fine. Whatever.
20 points of damage,
Nice.
and I am healed.
Yay!
And I heal 5.
That actually heals me up to my new maximum. Which I
And I'm out.
So what are you up to, Clarissa?
Clarissa
Never mind.
is just gonna look angrily at the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, that brings us to Karma. You're up, buddy.
Alright, well, I didn't have time to look that up yet, so I'm just going to go with what I know best. I'm going to...
Give me a second, I'll pull it up.
Oh, I was trying to find it. I couldn't find... I have my guide next to me. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to go through the door to where I can actually see him. Once I'm at that point, I'm going to go up and run back behind him.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to... you know what? Actually, I'm going to go way back behind him here.
Said you went behind him.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to go back behind him. Can I try and hide right there, or is that more of like a nope type of a deal?
No, he's... Nah, that's a big
Yeah.
nope right there.
All right, so... And nobody's in melee with him. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use my bonus action to dodge for the
Okay.
cunning action.
Okay.
Then I'm going to hold my action to attack once I have somebody in melee with him.
Okay.
And I'll continue to look up the dagger here. I know I'm in the right spot. I just need to actually find it. So
Okay.
go ahead.
This brings us to top of the round. Oh, no, it brings us to Fearlings, actually. All right. So, they're going to begin moving towards all of you. One's going to move here. One's going to get right behind Mural. This one's going to make its way over towards Karma. And let's see here. Alright, so first one is going to make...
Don't have like half cover because I'm on a couch.
Alright. So the first one towards Salix actually gets advantage on that, so it's going to be a 20 to hit for the first one from the Fearling.
Yes.
Salix, alright, so that'll hit for... So Salix, as you're currently being strangled and choked by this giant tentacle that's currently wrapped around you, you look over and you see your brother. You see one of your brothers hobbling forward on his sword. He eventually gets up really close to you and looks directly into your face, slightly cupping your face, and says, "It was all your fault." Before you feel a slight stabbing pain come right into your abdomen. You take 4 points of piercing damage as you feel this pain directly into your abdomen. The second one's going to be 12 to hit,
That matches.
so it hits.
No.
What?
No armor.
No armor. So as you feel this piercing coming into your abdomen, you feel the blade, you feel the piercing lessen for a second, and then you feel it replaced again by another 4 points of piercing damage as another shove into your abdomen slams into you, and then it lessens again as the blade is withdrawn from you. A mural behind you.
He's on the
Mural
other side of the couch, right?
Yeah, mural behind you. 18 to hit.
Do I have any cover at all?
That's with the +5 to your AC.
That misses then.
Okay.
My
so,
AC is
so
17.
Clarissa or Muriel, as you look behind, you see Orcus. You see a smaller visage of Orcus, bring his mace up and begin to go into an overarching slam into the couch. You manage to just roll out of the way on the couch, and manage to get away. It looks slightly annoyed. It makes a second attack against you. That's a miss. It actually takes the maw and sweeps it back towards your face. You manage to backpedal just enough, but both of them miss. Karma.
Most likely hits.
So it's a 17 to hit.
It hits.
All right, so that's a grand total of 4. Okay, so the first one.
Reaction, uncanny dodge.
Okay, so
half
it's 4.
damage.
Okay, so it's 2 points of damage, 2 points of piercing damage from the first attack. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay, so the second one does not hit. So the second one, you managed to dodge out of the way, and the other one's a 15 to hit.
Hits.
No, sorry. 14 hit.
14 still hits. It's 13 right now.
Okay, so as you're standing there and getting ready to attack, you see the slight movement out of the corner of your eye. As you look off to your side, you see a mirror image of yourself standing there, and you look confused. A wide grin comes across its face as it darts forward with uncanny human speed, pulling 2 daggers from its belt, draped in finely in beautiful clothing. It actually slashes at you once. That manages to rake just across the front of your armor, rake right across the front of your body. You feel the blade sink in. The second one, this time you're prepared. You manage to dodge just out of the way. The third one, this time you weren't expecting, actually manages to slam directly into your side. You let out a slight cough of blood. You pull it. It pulls out, and just it stands there with this demented smile. You hear the laughter from your dreams once again come swelling through your ears. Brings us to the top of the what was that? That was Fearlings. Brings us to the top of the round. Tyrion, you're up.
Okay, so I am fully awake. Yes.
Fully awake at this point.
The tentacle thing, is that still attached to the...
Still attached
dot?
to Salix.
Mm.
Still attached to Salix. There's like a direct line between Salix and the entity itself.
And the entity itself. Okay. Well, we're going to try out my alternate D20 on this. I'm going to come over here and attack the entity.
And that triggers my attack as well.
That'll trigger your attack as well.
So how does that work? Does he attack first because he was holding his
it's
action?
Gonna be your,
Do I
it's going to be your
first?
attack, then it's going to be your attack after that.
Okay, so with... Okay.
Your attack,
well,
then Karma's attack.
Both of my attacks?
Yep, it'll be your. It's
Okay,
like
so
your
basically
turn.
my whole
then it's
action,
Karma's turn.
gotcha.
It's your entire turn and your Carmen's everything like that, and then it's Karma's turn. So.
Okay, that was more from a curiosity standpoint. That's not gonna affect what I do here. So no long rest. So I'm operating on minimal spell slots here. But all right, attack. Yes.
That sounded fun.
That'll do, dice. That'll do. 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
Oh, well then the 23 it actually will hit too, because I can roll dice but not math. Okay, so it is time for a little bit of Divine Smite up in this piece.
Oh
I don't think I... Hold on, let me... What's a 7? Oh, cool! I'm gonna use that at a second level, because Okay, so that means, the way we do this, I do my damage dice first, and then the other stuff. So, regular damage is gonna be... Hold on. I had a d6, not a d8. Oh, max damage on that, so 8 and 5 is 12.
12 points of damage.
13. 8 and 5 is 13. Yes.
13 points of damage. Nice.
13 points of damage, just from the melee strike.
That was with
my-
slashing.
Yeah, that would have been just my plain sword strike. The Divine Smite is something that I roll
Alright, so
after. So that's...
6.
Alright, so I get to roll 3d8 for that, so we're gonna... Jesus, grab another... This is why I have so many d8. Way more than any other dice. So... Now this is all radiant damage. Is gonna be 5 and 7 is... That one is 12. So 12 radiant damage.
Nice. Alright, that's your first attack. Good.
I'm gonna attack again. I like this one better. Natural 20.
Nice.
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I
There are
think
no
I'm gonna.
numbers in
All right.
between.
Clearly tonight there are not for me.
There's
so,
no buffers in between at all. There's no middle ground. It's all like 1s or 20s. It's great.
All right, so you double the dice and then add modifiers. as
Double
we
the
covered.
dice, then add modifiers. So tell me the slashing damage without the...
Okay,
without
slashing damage will again be 13.
Alright.
And I'm gonna do the Divine Smite at
Tell me the radiant
first
damage.
level.
Yep. Radiant damage
So-
when you tell me the radiant damage for this, also
Mhm.
add the modifiers on that, and then we'll be good.
I don't think I get any modifiers.
No, just tell me the
on
divine
that.
smite. Never mind. I'm lied. Shut up.
Okay, right. Yeah, I don't get any modifiers. It's
No,
just
just
a
tell me.
straight.
Go for it.
Okay, so 30.
Jesus.
No, God, I'm an idiot. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because that's 2D.
Yeah, I'm not.
So
I'm
30.
watching the time. 30.
30 radiant damage.
Nice.
And somehow, yeah, the lower level, but that crit though.
So, as you take your sword, you settle into a stance. You feel you feel the floor pulsate beneath you. You feel the wood, the natural, even though long dead. You feel the resonance of natural energy pulse throughout it. You close your eyes. You focus on that. As you open your eyes, there's a green flare that flares on your eyes, and out of the corner of it, the rest of you see this green radiant flare go along the length of Tyrion's sword. You go with 1 slash, 2 slashes, just green energy just slashing along the length, slashing along the length of the creature's tentacle directly in front of you. Foom, foom. You hack once, twice into the sinew. On the second strike, you actually manage to cleave straight through the tentacle itself. The Salix, you drop to the ground with a slight thump as you wrestle the tentacle off yourself, catching your breath. The entity in front of you is tentacle where it reels back to itself. Its faceless body turns towards you, Tyrion, looking directly at you. It looks kind of pissed off at this point. Karma, go ahead and make your sneak attack. Go ahead and make your attack with that, which you already did. 26 legacy, so it's a total of 19 slash, and then a total of 4 fire damage.
Yep.
So Tyrion, as you see the entity wriggling in front of you, and your eyes and the sword slowly, the green energy slowly begins to dim. You see Karma directly behind it. Flip the dagger once and just jam it into the side of the entity. It lets out another howl as he pulls out the dagger. A slight streak of flame coming behind it. Slight streak of flame coming behind it. Beautifully done, gentlemen. This brings us to a mural. Unless you're doing anything else, Tyrion.
I have nothing. No, I mean, I'm not going to move or anything. That's all I got. So
Brings us to a mural. You're up.
I'm gonna. Can I move away from this thing to the other creature?
You will take an attack of opportunity though.
You're right next to the creature right now.
Yeah, I'm getting the hell away from it. Because I know it's not it, but I'm getting the hell away from it still.
You technically would be feared at this point. Technically, any of you that are seeing your fears at this point. Actually, everyone make a wisdom. Emil, make a wisdom saving throw before you move.
Since I'm conscious, Amiral, you do get my +3 to that if you're in range.
Before you move,
are.
make a wisdom saving throw. What'd you make it?
14 plus 8 is 22, plus 3 is 25.
All right, yeah, you're able to make it. You glance up at Orcus's face. You shiver for a quick second, but then you manage to shake it. You begin to move in the direction that you want. It's going to make a roll. Rolls a 20, not
That
natural,
hits.
unnatural 20. All right, you take a grand total of 6 points of piercing damage as you're running away. You feel this pinching sensation in your back as you glance back, as you slowly manage to stumble away. You glance back and you look and see Orcus with his maul currently in the ground just where you recently were at. Your back stings a lot, but you push past and you continue running forward. All right,
And I'm going to swing with my blade that's
Go for
still
it.
on fire.
go for it.
You're gonna hate me. You're gonna fucking hate me.
20.
Another 20.
God, you
I
piece
swear
of-
to God. I swear to God, it's another 20.
I'm about to start making you roll in D20, in roll 20 for the Lord of Christ.
I swear to God, it's 20.
It's fine.
If
I mean, I believe you.
I
Go
will
for it.
re-roll it.
No, go for it. No. Let me know. All right, go for it.
Okay. 6, 12, 15 points of
Is that doubled with the for the
doubled
for
is
the,
30 again.
Well, what's the dice roll?
15 fire.
So doubled is 30.
Yeah.
How much of that is slashing?
4.
So is that so it's
Uh,
4? So 8 doubled, or is it just 4?
8 of it slashing.
All right,
Yeah.
so minus.
So
And how much
22 of it's fire.
and
And
22 of it's fire. Great.
yeah.
Jesus.
And I'm gonna cast Healing Word on myself again.
At a first level. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, as you get blown as you get attacked from Orgus, you manage to shake it. You manage to shake it, still reeling from the pain. You take Celeste. You go forward, jamming it directly into the entity's torso. It lets out a as you pull the sword out from it, and there's a slight streak of flame as it just the flame envelops one portion of its body, sending this nice surge of just fire in this nice charred portion of what kind of smells like flesh to an extent from it. This brings us to is that all you're doing, Emerald?
That's all I can do. I
Brings
use
us
Healing
to
Word as my bonus. So.
Clarissa, this brings us to you. I don't know if you're still there or not.
No, I'm still here, but this will be my last.
This will be the last
activation.
turn. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna trigger my Witch Bolt to zap him again.
Go for it.
So on subsequent activations, it's just 1 d12. I'm gonna use the empowered to reroll that. Go fish for higher. Oh, oh well.
Rip the dream.
Fizzle.
So, as you're maintaining the spell, you push forward with the energy, and there's a slight as the energy cascades forward, and just kind of seems to ding the entity, even though it's still connected. It doesn't look like it does much damage. Clarissa, I need you to roll a D100, please.
Yay.
Oh,
Yeah.
So do it.
Fireball. Fireball.
Oh God.
Not looking this up.
What'd you roll? 51.
Oh yeah, 51. Sorry, I just put it in group me.
Roll one more time. $35.
35.
All right. Oh shit. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
More horses.
Rip.
I would like another
Rip
horse.
everybody.
That's fine. I'm
Clarissa,
totally fine
as
with
you're
that. I want another friend.
as you're standing there, and you see the crackling energies extending from your wand, you begin to see what almost appears to be slight rifts appearing in the almost kind of in like almost kind of like in like the vision, almost kind of like in the view that you're seeing. You see, as you catch glimpses of it, you see almost what looks like just like you see like a slight, as there's like a slight crackling of lightning and light there, you see like almost kind of what seems to be like a shimmering of just like a slight portal that seems to almost open, that's like just nothing but stone, and before it closes again as the energy crashes, you see another one as it opens again. And you see what appears to be a giant entity with large boulders for arms and large rocks moving forward before the lightning crashes together again. You see the lightning clack one more time, and you see what looks like a giant maw of some earthen individual beginning to close before the energy crashes again. Roll. Oh God.
Oh no.
Roll 4d12 for damage.
4d12. Okay. 24.
Does that gain from the empowered?
Does gain from the empowered.
Well, empowered is choose to reroll. Though,
Okay, so do you want to reroll?
No. No, I do not.
Okay. With, hold on, give me 3 seconds, and then Clarissa, I'm going to ask you a specific question.
Sure.
What is the airborne speed of an unladen swallow?
How do you want to do this?
After reading that, Clarissa, how the fuck do you want to do this?
Yes! Fucking comment.
I am somewhat confused. So, who exactly is going where?
It's not the caster, it's dragging the target, not the caster.
Oh, okay. That's why I was confused.
Yeah,
I was like,
after I read through it again, it's the target, not the caster.
Let's just do a Dune style, like come up behind it and then just like dive down on top of it.
Gotcha. Okay. So, as Clarissa is standing, as the rest of you are attacking it, attacking it, you see Clarissa's bolts slamming against it, but they're no longer actually hitting the entity in front of them. We're actually moving to a point. They seem to actually moving to a point directly above it. As Clarissa's standing there, getting focusing on the energy, holding onto her wand as hard as she can. She lets out a giant scream as she can, but as the energy just kind of imbues from her wand, crackling along all three lights of energy to the point where they all meet singularly just above the entity. As she lets out this giant battle-worn cry, the energy coalesces right at that single point before opening into this giant portal both above and below it. All of you who are gazing at it at this point, you see the portal open, and what you can see is a very barren land filled with rocks, filled with dirt, filled with browns and golds, a sun that seems to be just kind of dropping down below the horizon as it stands there looking down and above, as it kind of like looks, the torso actually kind of looks up, looks down at the portals itself, and says, "Oh, you can't. Corvus will have his revenge." And before it even can finish the word, this large pillar of stone that seems to have a maw just comes down from the top portal, encasing the individual before going down through the bottom portal, and just... And to most of you, it just appears as though a giant pillar of stone just drops down from Portal 1 to Portal 2, and just before it tapers off into a slight tail, and whoosh, as it does, the portals remain open for a slight second before Clarissa collapses to the ground, both portals slamming shut. The room returning stillness. The entities behind you fading in wisps of shadow. You're left standing there, tired, exhausted.
Oh, Clarissa, that was a really cool spell. How did you do that?
Somehow alive.
Trying hard and believing in myself.
Well, that was really cool.
What the hell was that?
Explain later. Salix, are you okay?
I think my neck is bruised, but I think I'll be okay. And I'm gonna do a preserve life and put 5 HP into everybody.
Nice. You all feel a slight warm glow as Salix's healing energy
Rubbing my throat.
courses through.
That's a little better.
Oh,
That's twice in a day that I've seen the demons of my past. That really sucks.
I get the feeling that's going to happen more and more often.
what did he just say when he was about to die?
You mentioned the name Corvus.
I look at Salix and go, I think that answers our question.
Yeah.
What
I
question?
think I haven't even met this guy, and I do not like him.
Well, constantly being assaulted by these things isn't exactly fun.
I agree with Tyrion, but what are you guys talking about? Do you guys know what's going on here?
We're just that we had some theories we were going to talk about in the morning.
All right, I'm so tired. Let's go to bed. Meet up tomorrow once we've all. I just fall asleep mid-sentence.
And no one else in the hotel heard any of that?
With that, you all begin to make your way back to your resting quarters. And that is where we will pick up. You begin to make your way back. You begin to make your way back to the resting quarters, or in Salix's case, to the bathroom. And that is where we will pick up next session, as you are making your way back.
All right.
So, good session tonight, guys. Those of you who need to get out, thank you for hanging out tonight. Everyone who hung out in Twitch, thank you for hanging out. Holy crap, guys, that was good.
My God.
Yeah, that was fun, guys.
That was real good.
Oh, damn.
Yes,
son.
that was a session of crit fails and successes, like,
well done.
constantly. Ones and
Like,
20s.
I literally just threw my dice up against the side of the tray, and I was like, I just rolled another 20. I swear to fucking Christ, I just rolled another 20.
I would like to point out, this was Amiral's rolls tonight. 20, 19, 18, 13, 20, and a 13.
Must be nice.
With several disadvantages in there.
You
as
are
well.
the DM's bane. You are our Percy. God, you piece of.
I will put these dice away,
brother,
and I will pull up
I-
the
look,
other
no,
dice.
it's no, it's
I
no,
tried
it's
to
fine.
help you out. I rolled 2 natural ones in a row.
No,
What
it's
more do you
fine.
want from me?
No, it's fine. I
And
understand.
I would like to
Some
point out-
people are going to roll 20s. Others are going to roll natural ones. That was a great session. I literally had been. Oh god,
Yeah, that was
so
great.
well done.
This
Ah,
balances the universal entropy caused by Will Wheaton.
yeah, seriously.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling
Will Wheaton.
the spirit of Will Wheaton earlier. I felt it descend upon
For those
me.
of you who are hanging out on Twitch, thank you for hanging out tonight, guys. We'll put it up on YouTube tomorrow or on Thursday. I will be back Thursday evening for some more streams. We're probably gonna do some Gears of War 3, or Gears of War 4. I might do some of that tonight. I haven't decided yet. Holy shit. That was fun.